right? So you've actually climbed back up into that because of what you were doing with the creature on what's that planet called? Dathomir. Especially since you were giving in to the dark side on the Dathomir. That's awesome, Messi. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Hello, hello,
And that's why I
everybody.
think
and
bidets, everyone should own one.
Yeah, you know what though? I like that gentle squirt. I just like when it comes from Messi.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you want me to put 4 of them on the same toilet. That's really the whole point of the argument we've been having off camera this whole time.
Well, you can have 4 of them on a single toilet to trick someone to go into the bathroom. Actually, recently this year, I was tricked to go into a bathroom with a bidet, and someone pressed a button that squirted so hard it went right by my head and hit the mirror on the wall. So apparently those things have pretty powerful pressure on them.
Oh, yeah.
Some people like to get a douche at the same time. Or is it no? That's an enema. Some people want an enema. That's what they want. Like, hey.
Or they can turn you into a really fancy looking fountain.
And go in one hole and out the other at the same time.
Exactly.
Sorry, we're a little late, guys. We were going over morality rules. Scott and I've been in a call for like an hour going over this stuff.
Yeah. But we actually have it defined. And for those of you that know the rules and care versus those of you that do not, we were just trying to come up with rules that like made sense without being too broken. And I just kept talking to Wade about how you can't have the rungs be too big because like the way it's supposed to be with morality, it's like 100-point scale, specifically like playing a video game when you're like going Paragon or Renegade, light side or dark side. It's a 100-point scale for like who you are. I always think 100 points is too small. You need like 1,000, but that's fine. And it's supposed to be something conflict. You're always supposed to do good things to gain light side or do bad things to gain dark side based off conflict and morality, whatever. If you go above a certain number, which is 70, you get all these bonuses. If you go below a certain number, which is 30, you get all these penalties. So what Wade and I were trying to do is where you can stay to be gray. Problem is 30 points gets you 35 to 65. That's way too big. So we narrowed it down. 36 to 55 is considered 65. 36 to 65 is gray. Oh, we kept it there.
We kept it at 30, but
we only did one small rung. That's right. So instead of 3 rungs, we have 2 rungs. So there's a 15-point rung on either side, and then there's a tight 10-point rung, 45 to 55 in the middle.
36 to 45 and 56 to 65 are the outer rung.
Yeah.
46 to 55 is the inner rung.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
This will only really matter for Wade.
It will only matters for Wade. Yep.
Well, technically, it will matter for all of us as far as the bonus goes on the second one. So right now, Varen is barely on the inner rung of it on the gray side, on the dark side.
Wade is on the teetering edge of dark side. He is at the bottom.
36 to 45, number. Starting at 36. The bonus for being 36 to 45 or 56 to 65 is I can choose to use light or dark side. Yep. I have to choose before the roll. If I get to that 46 to 55 point range, Varen gains 1 strain and 1 wound, because the equivalent on light and dark is you either gain +2 wounds or +2 light. Correct. The party also gets an extra light side point if I can stay in that middle range.
Correct. All that, yes.
That's what we decided. That took us an hour to figure out, but honestly, it was tougher than it sounds to sort it.
Wade was also talking about his eyeball. He was just asking a question about it. So I do want to bring up, I've polyed the table, or technically my wife polyurethane the table. I still need to wet sand it, urethane it 2 more times, and then wet sand it again. So it is clean.
It's not clean.
It's clean, but it's not lickable. So give me like another week or 2 to have time, and it'll be like official. Okay.
So, I don't know what you're saying.
Remember the whole was the table clean?
I remember that.
Okay. Do you know what poly means? Polyurethane?
I know what poly means as far as marrying multiple partners.
He had multiple partners on that table.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm referring to. I'm not
going to lick polyurethane. We got it.
I'm not going to lick polyurethane. Brittany also polyed it about 2 days too soon. I had used like a...
If you guys are poly, that's great, man. Happy for you.
I'd used a wet oil on the table.
I'm sure you did.
Wet oils take several days to dry before you poly them. Otherwise, the poly has a hard time binding to it.
They do.
So it's going to take
great
a while.
Hard to bind in poly. A lot of options.
Anyways. All right, let's get to the game. Rena, do you want to give us a recap, or do you want to say, no, I got a new stuffy on my bed and it's too cute?
My squishmallow.
A what?
0.
My brain did not comprehend the words that you just put together.
Bro, I did not realize your bed was that close to you. So I was just like, yo, her arms are so long. Oh my god,
I'm the luckiest person.
Feet. Her arms are 15 feet long.
Literally, like,
oh my god, your arm looks so long. It's crazy.
I didn't realize how far away your bed was. I thought it was like a little while back. Like I can't touch.
No, it's right there.
That was like one of those puzzles where it's like the bridge that goes under itself repeatedly but still connects.
Oh, yes. Rita, I've known you for what? Over 2 years now, and I've seen you get up and walk past your bed a billion times, but I've never seen you touch it as you. So like that over 2 years of just. I just assumed it was like this distance where it's like.
Oh, not
that
like
far
table
away.
distance. I mean,
Like-
I guess I
like-
can see that, like looking at your camera and my camera, like comparing them, I can see that.
Yeah,
But no, it's right there.
that's funny. See, I actually assumed Wade's wall was closer than that. That's
Yeah,
funny.
it does kinda look like it's
Wade's
a little
room is
closer.
actually a lot bigger than it seems.
This is a 12 by 12 office.
It's
Yeah.
quite big.
Yeah.
I made sure whenever we built it, I took up all of our storage space in our basement. So that way, if I ever did VR, which I've not done because I suck, I had space for that.
There you go. I could not do that because I would hit my head. I'd walk right into this pole.
That'd be great.
Like,
You should do
granted,
it.
it's pretty far. Like it's pretty far, but still.
I don't remember what we were doing. The first time I went over to Wade's house, I brought over my laptop, and I just remember him, Gar, and I all sat in his office and did some. You remember what we did? We played some game, and I don't remember what game we played because you played on.
We all
your-
sat in my office whenever we did the frog video.
right, but we like it was specifically you, me, and Gar. It was one of the
Don't
first
recall.
times you've been.
My camera for my doorbells. It looks like there's someone wearing a purple mask at my door right now. I think he's in this call.
Did you answer?
Too early
Trick
for
or
trick or
treat.
treating.
Trick or treat.
No, come back in 4 days.
You owe me candy, sir.
Excuse me, your beard is way too big to give you candy.
What?
Things you say to a child that comes to your door. Your
Excuse
beard
me?
is too big for
It's part of the
candy.
costume, sir.
You're
Yeah.
too
Look,
I'll
old to
take it
eat
off.
candy.
See?
Oh, where'd the beard go?
Oh, it's just
Oh
messy.
my god.
See? Now I
Whoa.
want that candy.
That happened like 2 seconds after you said "see" the first time, so it was,
Yeah,
it threw me
yeah.
off. I was like, "Wait, whoa." Jokes aside, if anybody, I want to. All jokes aside, I want to hire an engineer to come and tell me what I need to do to get rid of this pole, or if I just don't even need this pole. But I have no idea how much it costs, and I really don't want to go poor
Just
trying
green
to get rid of
screen
a
it.
pole. No. I want to physically remove the pole from the room.
You can green screen it.
That's not how poles work.
Trick or treat.
It's like,
God
there's
damn it.
There's a
Well,
room.
what you could do is go get like a 4 or 5 year degree, learn how to be an engineer and do it yourself.
No,
Look at that.
no.
Just
All
give me
that
the
matters
goddamn
is like the
candy.
different supports and weight distribution and cables
Hey.
and stuff like that.
I know an electrical engineer. Huh? Do you think that'll help?
I know
Probably
people
not.
that have jobs too.
But they're an engineer of sorts.
Wow.
Or you could just live life on an edge and just cut the pole.
I don't even need
It's
to
the
cut it.
worst.
You
It's
just
the
turn it
worst
and
thing.
remove it.
No, just do that.
And I actually want your opinion, and by yours, I mostly mean Rena's. So last question, and then let's actually get into the game. You see that wall back there? How it has that stuff on it? Brittany wants me to remove the purple ones and put black ones up. I bought them, and I already have them fluffing up. It takes 48 hours, so I can replace them over there. The question is, should I fill it up with black ones, or should I remove them entirely and put like art or something over there?
Art, because it's
It's
not
hard to
doing
even
you-
tell it's purple from honestly it looks like a solid color unless you really are looking.
Yeah.
How much?
Well,
Yeah, how
I
much
can make it
like
brighter.
sound dampening does it do? Really?
I mean, honestly, probably not that much, but
None,
I was
so
going
it's
to
on
expand
the other
it.
side of the room.
Yeah, I was going to expand it. So now you can see it's purple.
Who is it?
Trick or treat.
It's a trick. Get the hell out of here. All right. Well, I got tricked back.
Oh,
Molly, a kid just farted on us.
I want to know how many people went to go check their doorbells because they thought their doorbell was going off.
my doorbell does not sound like that.
See, the funny thing is, if they got up to check the doorbell, they wouldn't have gotten farted on. So,
My doorbell doesn't ring, so
sorry.
it just
I
doesn't
put
work.
up. Chat told me that if we hit a milestone a couple months ago, I had to get Molly one of those stupid 12-foot skeletons.
I've been trying to get them.
Oh, I want one so bad.
I built one today. It's been in a
Yes!
box for a while, but I built
Oh
one
my
of those stupid
God.
12-foot skeletons.
That's
And
so
we have an
hype.
8-foot one too, so we have 2 skeletons now.
I want a skeleton so bad. Brittany, actually, I came home from
Wade-
work the other day. She installed so much shit in the front yard, like a big spider with the webs coming off of it. I was like, whoa, when did we buy that? And how was it installed? She's like, I took care of everything. You're welcome.
I
was
am
like, oh.
I'm gonna rat Wade out. He said he's gonna keep it up all year round.
No,
That's
I didn't.
pretty
I said I was going
badass.
to ship it to
He
you.
did.
Every neighbor that has come by, they've been like, oh, I love the skeleton. I was like, do you want it? As of November 1st, you can have it.
Do you want it?
I'll pay you for it.
Do your
I'll pay you for
We'll
neighbors?
it.
talk after stream because I did not get it for retail price, sadly.
Do your neighbors
Oh.
I'll pay
know
you
what
and
you
pay
do
for
for
cooking.
work, or do you keep that to yourself? Out of curiosity.
Depends how well I know the neighbor. Most of them just like, I work online.
Okay, cool.
He has an OnlyFans.
Because it's awkward.
They look
isn't
at me,
it?
they know better.
It's awkward when you like talk to people that you know like face to face in the real world. You're like, this is uncomfortable to talk about. I'm uncomfortable right now. You know what I mean? Well, of course you know what I
Yeah.
mean. You've been through it. So
Sometimes I use the phrase, I do online production.
oh, there you go. Okay, that works. That works. Oh, something I would know? No.
I just say I work with computers. Not wrong.
I'm an engineer for OnlyFans.
If you manage to spend anywhere between $600 and $1,200 on one of those skeletons, because the price shot up after I got one, the cord is longer than I thought it would be to plug it in because you don't have to use batteries. There's also a plug-in cord, but it's not quite long enough to be useful. So just keep that in mind. Have an
Just buy
extension
an
cord.
outdoor extension cord, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh else. All right, cool. Let's get into the game. I've reset the shit. You guys want to go ahead and roll your destiny?
Yeah. Woohoo!
I'll just take the 2 light for dressing up.
No.
Thanks. Put in all this effort, he still makes me fucking roll.
All right,
Wow.
we're starting off with a bang. Can you at least get too dark, Messy? Like, give us 2 points. This is a very
You
small
got it.
pool.
You got it, sir. Here you go.
Too light, even better.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Right.
dude. No, wait, can I re-roll? I'm sorry. Can I re-roll?
No, denied.
Scott, you said he wanted too dark. Can I re-roll? Come on, man.
I said at least
dressed
too
up.
dark. I just wanted 2 points, and you gave us 2 points. You succeeded.
Nice, Ash. All right, this is good. This is good. This is good. I like this. This is good. By the way, if
All
Wade
right.
gets that inner rung, one of the things that happens is you guys get to start off with an extra point. So like right now it would
Can we put
actually
it
be
dark
3 and
side?
3. What?
Can we make it 2 and 4?
No. That's actually one of the things we talked about too, but no. All right, cool. So let's why are you not working? Where's the spam ass? So let's make this work. I wanted to start off with Pat, right? As opposed to the rest of you guys. Rena, you obviously were going to pull over to Wade. So to recap, Wade finished his ritual. He hung out with the Night Sisters a little bit longer, learned how their meditation is different from his. They're very aggressive, see him as an outsider, but still willing to work with him. Opened up a holocron from what's-his-face, Revan, realized that it helps to tap into some ebb and flow powers from the Force. I believe Wade spent his 5 experience points to learn the ebb and flow power, correct, Wade?
I did not.
Oh, he might spend 5 points to learn the ebb and flow power. He also learns that as long as he has the holocron on him, he has an additional power of the ebb and flow tree that he has access to. But if he doesn't have the holocron on him, he no longer has access to that without having to unlock that part of the Force on his own down the line. Just to maintain that holocron on him. Moving on. You also have he agreed to bring one of the lead Night Sisters with him to Mandalore so she could start her search down his path to how it is he discovered to sit in this like ebb and flow back and forth light and dark side version of the Force, so she could start walking down that path of learning it. More or less him trying to convince her to be another acolyte to Revan, which is pretty cool. So he flew her there and dropped her off in the woods. Pat got there ahead of them. This is on the planet of Mandalore. Spoke with
by myself.
By himself. Spoke with his clan's patriarch, who was disappointed, who was happy to see the things that he's done and what he's brought, and happy to see he finally got rid of that goddamn what? You still hanging out with that filthy Sith? Boy, you need to learn some lessons. He did not tell the Mandalore patriarch to his own small clan about the Night Sister coming here, because he has a bad influence convincing him to do naughty things. and whatnot. So yeah, Mandalore is where they're at. Wade had just landed. They're going to go meet up with this is L4D7, and prior to going to go meet up with Batos, be like, hey bro, what up? But Wade had sensed on entering the atmosphere the presence of the Force, realized it was somewhere nearby, went off to meet with somebody, saw a dude loading some crates onto his ship, started talking with them, and realized it's a Mira Luca. If you've never played the SWTOR series, KOTOR series, Mira Luca are a race of people that cannot see with their eyes. They instead see through the Force. And he's having a conversation with this person. He wants to continue that conversation right after Rena speaks with him. But before we do that, we're going to wade into the past to speak to Wade. To have him have another conversation on Mandalore because days passed between A and B. And maybe talk about some shopping thing, which we'll get to in a second. I do want to bring up one thing. Hey,
Wait,
guys.
me or
You. I may
oh,
not
you
have
said
said Pat.
Wade.
I meant to say Pat. One last thing I want to bring up before we go. Hey, guys. Mostly to Rena, Messi, and Wade, because guys know him best. But Jake and his two little ones got COVID. So they're doing well. But if you want to send love to Jake, for those of you that watch LI, he was in our Dark Sun campaign at the very end of it for a short period of time. And if you know my other channel, he's been in several campaigns over there. If you want to send him some love.
Dude.
Yeah, he just got vaccinated too. So like it didn't hit him at first. It hit his kids first. And so right as he was like helping them recover to the point where they start getting better and being a little bit less needy, he like collapsed. So he's fighting through it, but doing okay. But so send some love over to Jake if you know him or whatever.
Jake, feel better. You spent time with Mortifer, and Mortifer knows you are tough enough to overcome some stupid illness. So therefore, suck it up and get better. No illness can kill a god.
So in the current Monday night campaign, Mortifer actually serves on Jake's character's advisor council. Now
Mortifer's advice is heard.
That Mortifer, however, is very old, like on deathbed.
Mortifer has been heard.
Turning into Vice lore.
Yeah, right.
Mortifer has been listened to, and I think that what we've come to find out is that the advice given to heal is probably better than not healing.
Just imagine Mortifer as this scrawny old, still incredibly muscular man.
He's only 11'7" after aging.
Now do Yoda. Now do Yoda.
Do Yoda? I will not.
All right.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Yoda from Family Guy.
Okay, so we're in the past.
This is Yoda if he'd found drugs instead of the Force.
Yeah.
The Coke is strong with this one.
All right, let's keep going and ignore Rosin in chat. Remember, she's the one that put you on Dathomir for 3 sessions.
Right, definitely not you.
My Vice Lord does speak like that, Rosin. Scott changed my character without consulting me. My Vice Lord still talks like that.
Let's move on. So,
my Vice Lord.
All right. So, and sorry about no music in the backdrop, but it was causing VODs to get paused. So, yeah. Pat, for you, taking it back a step, I have an important conversation you're going to have with somebody. But before we even get into that, was there any other conversation or whatever about the purchases that you were making? Because we never went over price for everything.
I tallied it all up.
And did you add in the discount?
No.
So you just went full price?
Yes, I didn't know what the discount was.
Okay. So what was the full price you charged yourself?
I think it was 3,200. Let me check. I got it all here separately. So 5. No, it can't be 5,000.
I hate it. Oh, Messi, please.
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50?
5,050.
Okay, 5,050. So remember, you had 3 mind tricks and 1 rough negotiator, which means that you get 20% off because it's 30% off plus 10% increase. So it's 20% off of what you purchased. That goes for the entire session. Anybody that does any purchases today, that discount
That's
happens.
like what, 250-ish bucks off?
So what did you say? So I'm gonna go 5050 times 0.8. That's how much you actually spent.
Okay. I will write that off. Do you want me to tell chat what I ended up buying, or
what you ended up buying? Yeah, well, you can go right ahead. Yeah, and then we'll jump into RP. It's a Kajatar, 30% off, increase 10%. So minus 30 plus 10 equals minus 20. Go ahead, sir.
So last time we saw Bato, he was looking for upgrades, looking to buy another Van Bracer because he's acquired a new one since he was here, which I believe controlled the android brain on the ship, as well as had some extra hard points on it, so I can include other stuff besides like the whipcord. So now on his left gauntlet, or the left Van Bracer, he has a medical scanner and the healing injector. What's it called? Stim pack injector, which I believe I would have bought packs for these two. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, is I don't know if in those prices were like actual refills. and then in my right one, my right gauntlet, my right Van Bracer, he has a flamethrower attachment. Scott, I did want to ask you about refills and stuff for like fuel for the flamethrower as well as the stim packs.
Cool. We can stim packs are legit just regular stim pack prices. You just get the stim pack. So if you imagine stim packs are like a syringe and the actual chemical at once, more or less you like release the class to take out like. No, I imagine you just literally remove like the chemical thing and you kind of like put it in there and the separate like needles that you put in. Just same price, just like 25 credits each. So typical price. And by the way, you can probably buy them anywhere. Like it's meant to be one of those things where you can get it
universal.
Yeah. I'm not
same with flamethrower. Imagine that's just fuel.
Yep, just fuel that you'll buy from anywhere. Like you imagine it's probably like one part this kind of fuel, one part this kind of fuel. You could buy them pretty commonly.
By the way, that price was also for the wings.
Yes, for your wings.
Now, I was going to ask, is that the same fuel for the flamethrower as well? Or is that different fuel?
Actually, it's all the same fuel. Yep.
Cool.
Yep, because those are all combustion fuels. Yep. Again, napalm is different from jet fuel, but for the sake of argument, it's simple enough that you can just pull it off, right?
Okay.
So which is fine. The things are going to be different if you got like the, what is it, whistling birds or whatever they're called. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that was expensive.
I know. But if you were to get that, even refilling those, you can only get them from certain locations. They cost a certain amount of money. Blah,
I think
blah,
you
blah,
said
blah.
the dart shooter were easier because those are just like thin knives or whatever.
Yep. Those are relatively easy to get your hands on. They're more universal. So
right. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that's all that Bato bought.
How much does that leave you with?
About
because you had just shy of 10, didn't you?
5.5.
Yeah. Cool. So you still
have 5,100.
Yeah, which you might end up wanting to spend on something. So keep that in mind. All right. So the conversation that you wanted to have, you already went and spoke with your clan's patriarch. But something to remember is that the Mandalorian culture is not a strictly patriarchal society. It's not like men are men by any stretch. Women are warriors just as much as men are, and women are also leaders just as much as men are. Granted, the Mandalore has always been a male character, as far as I understand correctly, and I could be wrong on that one.
Why not a Mandalore?
So maybe the highest tier is always a guy, but beneath that, it's not always. It's not a patriarchal society. That being said, there is a matriarch of your clan as well that also wants to have words with you. This would be during the period of time that you had dropped off your armor at the blacksmith, talked about what it is that you wanted to do for upgrades, and allowing them to kind of like smooth out, shine up, so on and so forth, all of your armor, as well as putting the additional insignia on you that represents you've earned your wings, and legit putting them on your armor, attaching them. Cool. Also, keep track of how many hard points you have left over in either bracer.
Scott, just so you know, Mandalore is an individual.
Yeah, Mandalore is actually a title given to an individual person. Mm-hmm.
I took the whip cord off the left one and added the medical scanner, so I'm capped on left Van Bracer. I have one free hard point on right. So,
Mandalore can be female. Cool. So it is not a strictly patriarchal society, which I said. And you're just as long as you keep track of your hard points. Best way to keep track of your hard points on your character sheet under the I think equipment tab. You have your armor, and it says like view attachments. Underneath that, put Van Bracers, and set hard points as 6, and then view attachments for there, and right down under there where all the attachments are. You know what I mean? That's the easiest way to do it.
what I meant by that is that Mandalore was the name of the person who became the Mandalore, and then
The
his name was
first
passed down.
Mandalore. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
The very first Mandalore, correct.
I'm just
Which wasn't even because Mandalorians were an actual race of people before, you know, the whole Revan experience, like what he did there, and the mask. Bato. All right, so you wanted to go and speak to your matriarch. Do you see what I'm talking about by the
Yeah. I'm getting the medical scanner and stuff
And
like that.
don't
I'm
even
just
worry about that
copying
right
it.
now. Yeah, ignore that for
I'm
now.
doing it as we go.
Yeah, but make sure it's not under your armor. Make sure it's under a separate item
You
called
don't-
van bracers.
Oh, you want me to make it a totally separate one?
Yeah, here I'll actually just add. Oh no, yeah, add and just do this.
Would it be technically
van
cybernetics,
bracers
or is it? I guess
here,
not really cybernetic.
and then so encumbrance. Technically, those add at your encumbrance of 1, and they have HP of 6 because you have 2 van bracers, and they don't add anything to soak or defense. So that way, it's nice and easy for your view attachments down here to just be tacked on, right? All right, cool.
Right.
Back
I
to
think
game.
with all this, by the way, I am maxed on encumbrance. I am a 7 out of 7.
Yep. We can go over your equipment afterwards. So back to game. When you go meet with her, you're going to meet with her when you're in your relatively normal clothing. You don't have your van bracers, your armor. You could have your helmet, but you're actually not wearing it around here because you don't need to wear it religiously around here.
I
It's
think the
only
only thing I would bring is the pistol attached to my hip.
yeah, because a Mandalorian is never unarmed. You'd probably honestly keep a pistol attached to your hip and a knife on you, right? A pistol at the hip, knife at the either the hip
Knife
or
in
the
the
lower
boot.
back, yeah, or the boot, whatever it is, right? Because again, you're a warrior culture, to be without weapons is foolish, right? Moving on. You would go in and meet with her, and when she goes to see you, which by the way, did you ever write down your patriarch's name?
No, I never had it.
Okay. So because you're definitely going to want to have his name. So you already have your clan name. You mentioned it last time.
Yeah.
What was your clan name again?
Oh God.
Hmm.
I have to look it up again. It was Fu something. Fu Cortal.
Fu Cordal?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Fu's Fu space.
So
Cool.
his first name is Zadat, Zadat.
Zadat.
Yep.
And this is the Mandalore or
Yeah,
the
this is your patriarch.
All right.
And your matriarch, her name is Riva, Riva. Cool.
All right.
So when you go to meet with Riva and you walk in, she sees you. So it's one of those things as you walk in there, you know, being proud. She looks at you from across the room and she says, Bato, it has been so long. And she makes her way over to meet with you. Not like in a hug or anything like that, but she goes over and she goes to take your hands inside of her hands. And she goes
These
over.
would be
She,
people I would have recognized.
this is your matriarch. Yeah, this
right.
is
So I would be
the
pretty
old lady
familiar
that
with
runs
them.
your clan.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely, because your clan is a family thing.
Right.
So
I'd probably greet her with respect and stuff and kind of bow my head.
so she goes over. She goes to take your hands inside of hers, and she goes, "It looks like you haven't been eating properly. You look sick."
How long has it been? Probably like a month since I've awoken from carbonite.
A little over that, yeah.
Little. Over a month ago, I was frozen in carbonite. Memories fuzzy, hazy. Getting back home has been no easy task either.
Frozen in carbonite.
Yeah, my companion and I have lost our ship and do not know who wanted us. We thought a bounty on our head that led us to a hut would provide us some answers, but
Hold on. You still travel with Revan? No, sorry, Varen. Sorry. You still travel with, we just talked about Revan for so long. You still travel with Varen?
correct.
She looks
I
in
know
your
my-
eyes. She looks deep in your eyes. And say your line.
I know my travel. He would almost kind of hold his hand up, kind of like I know. But I know my travels. I know my companionship with this man is looked down upon. I've already spoken with. I forget the man that I talked to, or the general. I forget his name. I already spoke with the general.
Your patriarch. He's the old man that
Oh,
runs your
was
clan.
that
Yeah.
Zadat? Okay, I
Yeah.
already spoke with Zadat. He was also not pleased, but gave me words of advice.
She shakes her head. She says, he's not pleased for different reasons. He has his reasons to hate the Sith, just as we all have our reasons to not trust them. But that's not my concern. She looks down. I guess as she was holding your hands, you had held one up. You took one away to hold one up for a second. But still holding on to your trigger hand. She actually grabs it and kind of like opens your hand up, kind of like pulling it towards her, palm up, right? And she starts rubbing along your hands, like right along the hand itself, almost like giving it a massage. Certainly around all the muscles and tendons and everything, right around where your thumb is in the center of your hands, and up along around where your trigger hand is. Reaches up onto your wrist and your forearm and continues triggering. Continues rubbing them for a bit, then finally lowers your hand down to the side. She looks at you deep in your eyes and she says, Bato, do you know not what it is that you travel? Do you know not who it is with which you travel?
She basically asked me, do I know who he is? Truly.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I know his mission is to find Varen, or to find Revan. Fucking damn.
Revan's looking for me too. Oh yeah.
So
Baby boy,
his
come
mission
on.
is to find Revan. Whatever his mission may be, that is no typical Sith or Jedi or whatever side of that religious conflict they choose to take. That's someone who was born with more power than a typical one. Do you see how tense you are?
Bato will kind of almost look at his hands. Would that be a minor like perception?
You're no doctor. You no fucking clue.
Well, I mean, just by perception's sake, would that be a war check? Would I notice that my body's fatigued?
You would
'Cause I'm
not.
sure I wouldn't have checked.
Not fatigue. She said tense.
Tense. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, she said earlier that it looks like I haven't been eating. I didn't know if
You
I
look sickly, but because you were in carbonite.
Gotcha.
Yep.
He'll probably just look at himself, kind of just like looking at the one arm that's not being held onto.
She let go of both of them at this point. But go ahead.
Okay, yeah, he'll just kind of look over his body. I've been moving and traveling. I've not had time to sit and rest. A man of that power, of that caliber. We all know the stories of his time here. What if that power can be wielded by one of us?
You
What if
choose.
this man that I travel with can make a difference? He's been infighting himself between this light and dark side force nonsense. I don't understand it. But traveling with him, I've learned a lot about it.
You're choosing to travel with him as your own choice. One of the things that our clan prides itself on is our individualism. Us taking our strengths and using them at times in groups together, with our clan's might beating back greater enemies, but also our individual might, our freedom to travel throughout the galaxy and prove who we are, to earn the merits of every piece of armor, of every badge of honor that we get along the way. You choose to travel with him, that's your choice. But you cannot any longer continue to travel with him as an ignorant fool. Bato, you've been trained in war. You've been trained how to fight. I'm sure you're a damn fine marksman, and I know you like to hold on to that trigger and not let go. I can feel it in your forearm. You need to start using your muscles here, not just in your hands. How much time have you really spent plotting out each battle before you get into them? How much guidance do you give this madman? You realize the power that he wields is going to eventually consume him and everything else around him. And again, that's fine. I would rather have one of our clan at his side when that time happens, because it could be you that stops him from becoming a danger to everything else around him. And at the same time, earn yourself yet another badge of honor, another reason why you have value in this galaxy and with our clan. But you need to know that the only way you're going to have any chance at that time, and the only way you're going to stop that time from coming anytime soon, is by guiding him, by making decisions and planning. Again, I ask you that question. When was the how often do you plot battles out before you get into them? Or do you just go running in, blasting anything that moves?
Otto will kind of stare off and kind of just start to recall all the battles with him, with Varen, with Krasa. I see the battlefield lay before me. I see what I must do to infiltrate and succeed against whatever we're fighting. I guess my thought process and planning comes as basic first instinct. There is planning that goes into it, but when I pull my trigger, I know before I pull it that my shot will hit.
She places a motherly touch, palm up, thumb on the jaw, like hand kind of cusping the jaw, raising up to your face. Again, she's older, so she's not short by any stretch, but she's shorter than you because time is certainly taking its toll on her. She's in her 70s. You're
I'm
probably
kind of in my
mid
prime
70s,
right now,
and you're in your
so-
prime exactly. So she's probably standing at maybe like a 5'5", probably in her prime at like a good 5'7". So anyways, she's again, like palm up, has like kind of cradling your jaw, and she says, "Bato, I don't question your judgments, your snapshot decisions that you make on the battlefield. We saw what you were capable of when you were just a boy. We know how much more driven you became after you lost your brother. I'm talking about the fact that you make the piss poor decision of never planning before you get into that field in the first place." And with that, not very hard, but like with her hand still there, she almost does like a 1-inch slap, like a slap to the side of the cheek. Because again, warrior culture. So again, like hand kind of like cradling, and then just like a to your cheek, and then pulls her, like puts her hand down by her side again, and says, "You need to start planning before the rifle is out. You need to start planning before you're marching towards or creeping upon your enemy. You need to know what it is you're doing before you get there, and then execute that plan."
I think he's going to be almost a bit disrespectful from this, almost in like defending Varen. You were not there. You do not see how fast life can move, how badly a situation or even a simple business meeting can turn bad. Having a quick trigger finger is not all that counts. Being able to defend oneself changes. You do not know of the droids, of the Cathar, of the Sith we've had to battle. I've just returned from Dathomir, for God's sake. The horrors there. Nothing like the war I've seen here.
She looks at you and says, "I think you just proved my point. Had you planned accordingly going into these situations, you wouldn't have to flick your gun to auto fire and just pull the trigger and never let go."
It's funny
Why?
because Bato didn't do a ton of shooting the last couple of battles anyway. The last time he actually shot to kill stuff was back at the hut.
I mean, you didn't really shoot much. Well, you did use a lot of auto fire on Dathomir, but that was the last battle you were in. And
Right,
then
it
with the
was
hut,
one
same
thing,
thing,
yeah.
and so on and so forth. So, but she's just talking about in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I just think it's ironic as well.
Mhm.
Good.
She says you wouldn't have to flick your rifle onto auto fire. So you wouldn't just have to flick on auto fire and hold the trigger. You can end conflict with one shot. You need to spend your time while here at home learning. Have your drinks with with the different members of the clan. Go and see your friends. I understand. Everyone misses you that knows you, and I'm sure you miss them. But it's time you start really taking your lessons to heart. It's time you start really learning how war works, how battles work. No more rushing into this headlong like a novice warrior. You're not shiny anymore. It's time you start acting like someone that knows war. And certainly this Sith, Jedi, whatever he calls himself, he's going to need your guidance, or he's just going to go off the handle way too soon. You keep letting him get into these scenarios, he's just going to walk down that path where his mind just breaks.
Otto will be kind of flustered and not really eye contacting with her. He'll be kind of just looking at the ground, just taking this advice almost unwantedly, but not obviously trying to show that. More just trying to be as respectful as he can, even though he's kind of like seething right now.
Of course. And then she says, I heard that you had a bit of a conflict.
The world is always in conflict.
She'll chuckle because she's definitely taking a hard turn in conversation, trying to lighten up the mood a bit. I heard you saw Bimal.
She was weak. Her ship is a new addition to my collection.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but well, she has 2 older sisters and a younger brother.
Hopefully they are stronger than her.
I expect that they're going to be interested in regaining a bit of honor that was lost that day.
I saw no honor.
She nods. I hear it was a good. I hear it's a good ship.
He'll take a moment. I plotted a course for home. Ended up at Dathmere.
That
Must be
sounds like
some
shit, actually.
As I said, no honor.
She'll chuckle with you at that one.
I didn't
Well-
get a chance to ask Sadat. Perhaps you know. I mentioned a hut. The last Mandalorian I met was from the. I'll take a moment to kind of like retell. He was from the. Was it the Neo Crusader? No, hold on. I wrote down his name. Ezluna's tribe. Gavis was his name.
Mhm.
Do you know of him? Or of the tribe? I mean, I know she knows of the tribe, but like, are they local? We're trying to get more information.
She nods. She says, they're not on this continent. They're on the other side of Mandalore.
He was a well-respected Mandalorian.
It's a fairly well-respected tribe. Clan.
No, you mentioned them as a tribe, a smaller
Tribe,
one
sure,
than what
tribe.
we were. We were more of a clan, bigger than they were.
Yeah.
How you describe? Ollie.
Hey, Molly.
Malu. How was the game without spoiling? Because I got to play it tomorrow.
Molly spoiled the game. It's something.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Well, I'll take that in consideration.
Good luck.
Huh.
So she says what again? That they're
They're well respected. To
well-respected
counter what
tribe?
you had said, yeah.
Okay. That man had a lot of honor. He upheld to the code.
Or if
By
just
gall.
guidelines.
Vigal had no honor. She opened fire within a crowd of innocent people.
Sure did.
I
What a
don't-
monster.
I don't know.
She says,
I don't think we ever
"Did
talked
she?"
about it. So for me, because I don't think you told me that, did you? You mentioned it to Lady. I don't think I was there.
Yeah.
So by my sniper
Yeah, I
shot,
guess you don't-
she
you probably
pulled
don't
the
know, yeah.
trigger.
But so either way, she says, did she?
We were there scouting. Our plane crashed and we were trying to find a way off. She was obviously hunting us because of the bounty on our head. She, what was it? What's the word? She conversed with Varen. And then he'll stay quiet. She just unloaded into the cantina.
Is it possible that you can find evidence of this? Any video evidence of this?
I mean, the only thing that would have been there was the ship, right? Because the ship was present at that
But
point.
it wouldn't have been recording. But on Castellan, there absolutely would have been. Like, think
Okay.
of how heavily guarded that place was.
That's true.
Like, how strong the rules were. Yeah.
I'm sure a city of that nature has some kind of recording.
Whatever planet that was that it transpired on, find proof of this. This could be interesting for our clan.
I believe Castle. Would I have to roll to
You remember
this?
Castellan? You remember Castellan?
Castellan was the planet. If that is what you wish for me to bring back, I will do so.
In your travels, but don't wait too long on that one. It'd be interesting to see what we can do
I can
with it.
send this over the net, right? The HoloNet.
You can, yep.
Okay.
Or at least you could send somebody else to deliver it, right? Like you can send a package
true.
deliverer. You know,
Right.
let's toss some credits.
Is there anything else you would have me do? Is there any other use? Do you need me for anything else?
She just again takes your hand one last time, like she kind of like holds your hand in hers and says, "Stick to your lessons. Learn to learn to grow past your young and brazenness. It's time to stop being a warrior and time to start being a leader. Also, I'd love to do a little bit of training with you. I bet this old bird could still whoop your ass. I heard you got your wings."
Is it a race you want or a shooting competition? Regardless, you will lose, old woman.
She'll chuckle and say,
I probably wouldn't call her old woman. I'd call her old magistrate.
"Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
So she'll chuckle, and she'll say, "Oh, the puppies always think they know. Always think because they bark, they know how to bite."
He'll
Go,
kind of like
be with your
tilt his
friends.
head.
Yeah.
And I would probably just walk out.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you are able to go.
Side quest picked up.
Yeah, right. It's actually an important one too for your clan. That's your duty. Awesome. So jumping back forward to the future, because that was important to go over that stuff. They more or less just said, "Grow the fuck up." We've all had those conversations with our parents at one point in time or another. Every one of us.
Scott, you have really mastered the only 2 voices that you can give a character whenever you DM.
Is that a compliment?
I was told to
that
give you a
Chad made
backhanded
say?
compliment.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I can do more voices. I just still don't have I just still don't have a voice box. Hasn't healed in the past 2 months, month and a half. I could do,
Okay, Arena.
Molly just sent me a video of Presley just going outside and growling and staring at the 12-foot skeleton.
Awesome.
That's a big bone.
His little tail's curled up and his like fur's up. He's just sitting there growling at it.
He's like, what the fuck is this?
I want one of those so bad, but they're too expensive. I'm like,
Have I told you guys why I want it?
so you can make love to it?
Short story. So I would put it in my backyard facing my neighbors because they have a balcony that overlooks into my yard. And
Yeah.
so if it was a 12-foot one, the head and the arms would be perfectly aligned to their balcony.
Oh,
So
that's
they
awesome.
walk out, they're just, Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it would be like the street that I'm on, you could see like my fences aren't super high, right? But you would see it obviously just like peering into their yard as you do.
I'd be super creepy and like buy old broken cameras and take the lenses off and put them inside the eye sockets, so it looks like this camera's in there inside the skeleton watching them.
Their eyes
like,
glow,
what
though.
the fuck? Oh, do they? I've never seen them at night. I only see them during the daytime.
The eyes glow, and I think the mouth can move, right, Wade?
I don't know if the mouth moves on this one, but the eyes glow.
That's cool.
I don't know if the mouth moves or not. There's a smaller one where the mouth moves.
I saw
Also,
one that
Scott,
was
I
like
feel a
8
little bit
feet and a
bad.
pumpkin head. What's up?
I do feel a little bit bad because Messy told me I have to feel a little bit bad. You're still a much better DM than I could ever be.
Oh, that is yet to be seen.
No,
Stay
I can
tuned,
see.
chat. All right. So, anyways, let's. So, Rena, you were radioing over to Varen, who is literally about to go off and have, I think, a beer with this Miraluka.
Yeah, because
Whose name begins
Bato
with
was
U?
like, our conversation kind of ended or trailed off or whatever.
Old
the one
us.
that we were the one that we were having at Bato's house. So that's when she was gonna be like, Varen, do you copy?
Yes. What is it?
I'm having a
Looking
mimosa.
for Looking for an update. Did you find anything?
There is one proficient in the Force. We're walking to the Cantina to talk further.
Someone we should be worried about?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure yet.
We can meet you there.
That would be fine.
And she's doing this over open comms as well, so you two could hear it.
Over our private comm, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just between the four of us.
Okay.
Would Bato have to be worried that anybody could detect this? Or because of how good her slicing skills is? It splicing? She's made the network?
She does these things over the ship, and the ship actually has like a super encryption on it.
Okay, so I don't have to be. Bato wouldn't need to be worried that this is going to get.
As long as her ship is the one that's hosting the call, that people are pinging in and out of the ship, then yeah, you guys are good because that ship is really good. So,
Bato, does your clan have the facilities or capabilities to help Krasa?
I'm sure I would have asked this over the couple days I've been here. Correct?
I have the ability to help Krasa. Oh, you actually wouldn't have asked because you didn't have Krasa with you, did you?
No, but I would have brought up the. I would have brought up.
They would not be able to answer your question without having Krasa there to look it over, so they wouldn't know. Yeah.
I have not asked specifically. I'm sure they would need to see Krasa and bring in a Cathar. Is it Catharian or just Cathar?
Cathar.
Bringing a Cathar here would probably not be smart. I can look for a local doctor. Besides,
They already dislike my presence. What's one more? Krasa needs help.
Your presence here has grown more animosity among my tribe.
I apologize for that. I did not mean to cause any uproar.
It is not you they are upset with, but what grows inside of you.
Oh, a baby.
You're
I see.
Pragananan today.
If they would speak with me, they can ask me what they'd like.
You are more than welcome to talk to. I imagine it wouldn't be. Would it be out of character? Not out of character, out of tradition to have an outsider talk to the magistrate?
You
the
definitely
magistrate, not the Mandalore.
No, I understand you. It would definitely be one of those things where you might want to ask their permission first.
Right. Okay. If you wish to speak with them, I can try and host a call or ask if it is something you are actually wanting to do.
If you think it would help assuage their fears, then I will.
Right now, my fear is losing Krasa.
Mine too.
Would I have been brought up to speed on why he jumped out?
Why jumped out of what?
The plane. Not jumped out, but like why he left instead of coming back here, because that was the original plan.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't know if Lady told
Oh,
you.
yeah.
She
I
said
would've-
that
I
you
told
sensed
you,
something, but like,
sent something in the Force and was going to check it out on its own.
would you have caught us up on what you were doing though? Like you're going to.
Well, if you ask.
He
Okay.
just said over comms, like we're going to a cantina.
Yeah, I just
said,
told
"Is
you
this
that I
someone we
met someone
can
who's.
trust," and he said, "I don't know yet."
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't
You know,
sure.
I'm being a Force user who I don't know if we can trust yet. Is all I told you.
Okay. Yeah, he was just helping Cross is more important.
He wouldn't say anything else unless you guys say more.
Oh.
I guess we'd make our way to the cantina.
I
Yes,
guess I
you
could
would.
just ping his location or whatever cantina he's talking about. If Bato
Yeah, well,
knows.
I mean, Bato would
We're not
probably
very
know where
far
it
from the
is.
ship.
I was gonna
Neither one of
say-
us went very far, so I imagine this is all in the same area. So there's
So
probably
we'll head over there.
Yeah, but Bato would be able to tell you where the containers are or whatever. Anyways, that'd be pretty easy to do. So you guys are heading over there, but you're going to be getting there a little bit later, so not like right off the bat by any stretch of the imagination. So anyways, Wade, as you finish your conversation, the Mariluka oldest that's with you, he's going to look to you and he's going to say, "Do I make you nervous?" Like looks in your
Nervous, no.
direction, but not at you. He goes, "You sure?"
I don't feel nervous.
But it was strange for you to invite all your friends to come and have a conversation with us.
I trust my companions, and we've been through a lot. I think, for their own comfort, having us all, at least within a comfortable distance for a while, is necessary.
So that means I get to be outnumbered 4-1.
There is no numbers. Unless there's conflict. I have no conflict with you.
Right. And he leaves it alone at that one. You guys go walking over to the cantina and are able to go in, grab a seat, right? So I imagine you grab like a booth off to the side, whatever it is. You're on Mandalore. There's a bunch of Mandalorians in here. You know what I mean? They're having conversations, so on and so forth. One of the things it says on like the sign of the thing, it says no disputes. Literally says on the door side. Yeah.
Varen would add something else after the last line.
Sure.
And having my companions nearby might be helpful, because for you and I,
To look around all the Mandalorians.
we're already outnumbered.
He'll chuckle a little bit at that. That they were already outnumbered. Yeah. Because I mean, you know, you're just inviting one more Mandalorian.
He doesn't know who we're inviting. He just knows,
of course. So anyways, so you guys go in. Again, it says no disputes on a big sign on the door. Which is funny because you go in there and lots of people have just like guns sitting on the tables or on the bar next to them or wherever they are. Some people are like clearly have like a big ass knife out and they're like showing it to others, et cetera, et cetera. You actually see one person as you're just because, you know, stranger, you have like a spidey sense of danger around or whatever it is. One of the things you walk in as you go over to the bar to order a drink and you're like waiting for the bartender to like deliver the drink that you just ordered, whatever it is, kind of like looking around and taking it in. You see one Mandalorian having a conversation with another one, literally just throwing a thermal detonator up in the air and catching it, throwing it up in the air and catching it. And it's like unless it's armed, it should be safe. But you know that thermal detonators are so volatile that if like the thing between where the chemicals are that combine, if that cracks, oh boy, that could literally mean everybody in this building is dead. And they're literally just like throwing a thermal detonator up, catching it, throwing it up, catching it, having a conversation with the person in front of them. Of the Mandalorians in here, almost everybody has armor on, but not everybody. And several of them, but I would say maybe less than 10%. Yeah, I'd say several of them have helmets on as well. Most of them, whether or not they have their helmets with them, have them removed and sitting next to them, either on the booth or chair or whatever, or on the table or bar in front.
Do they have like a display of their clan?
Always do across the different armors. Whether or not
are the ones without helmets part of Bato's clan or a different clan?
That's actually, you're gonna have to go ahead and roll a
Sure.
what would that be? Not lore.
Lore.
That's Outer Worlds. Is Mandalorian?
Well, I know his symbol at this point.
Is Middle Worlds? Is that a thing?
No.
No, it's not.
Core, outer, education, lore, underworld, xenology, warfare.
You would just have to remember my sigil.
Oh, that's outer. Mandalore is more outer.
How difficult is it?
I would say average. 2.
I'm not gonna light side this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dark side it. No reason. Cool. It's a little stressful. But you're able to identify that you see a couple of members of his clan inside here. 2 members of his clan happen to be inside here. That you notice at least, not like you can see everybody. But nothing else stands out. I mean, granted, you know some of the other clans too.
I just wanted to know if the ones that were in his clan were wearing a helmet or not.
2 of them are not. The 2 that you see are not.
Okay.
Yeah, like helmet nearby, but not on their head.
It's just unusual, so I would just note that.
I imagine even on our clothes and stuff like that, we would have almost tribal clothing that would have the same sigil bearing marking.
Yeah,
you have just always been like to Varen. You've always been one who always wants to be
not on Mandalore.
Covered.
Oh yeah, not home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not. Varen's not spent that much time with you here.
Of course. Now you grew up on Mandalore just as much as he did. You're Mandalorian as well by bloodline, but not by, of course, who you actually are, right? So you grew up in Mandalore as well. So you're somewhat familiar with the
I
different
don't
clans
think
and
Varen
symbols.
was born on Mandalore, but he was definitely brought to Mandalore.
I actually don't even know if you're human variant Mandalorian or not. You might just be plain human. So, but it doesn't matter. So, you spend a lot of time here. You're familiar with some of the other clan sigils as well. It just doesn't matter. The crusts or whatever. It just doesn't matter for the sake of conversation at this point. But so you get your drinks and eventually you go over and you grab a booth, that you guys could sit at. You imagine that each of the booths have little dividers or whatever, so people can have their different conversations without necessarily being like, everybody else around being up in your biz. So he sits down with you. And do you want to open conversation or do you have him?
I would see if he says anything off the bat.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as you guys sit down with your drinks, he takes his first straw and you can see like there's a pained wince on his face as he swallows it. And he goes, Mandalorians don't know flavor.
Wait just a fucking minute. Hold the phone.
I guess Varen will take off his mask and helmet in order to drink.
Mhm.
And he'll set it kind of like on the inside part of the table.
Mhm.
I myself do not partake in drinking very often. I'm not too familiar with the different flavors.
Well, you don't have to be. There's not much here.
No. There is and there isn't. Flavor-wise, perhaps you're right. There's a lot of other things here.
He kind of like his head, like his face kind of like looks across around the bar, but obviously, he doesn't really necessarily need to look because he's Miraluka. But he looks around the bar and he says, that there is. But I have to say, one of the things that make things enjoyable, whether it be a meal or a drink, is complexity of flavor. And I'd have to say, of all the flavors here in this bar, none are more complex than you.
Dracula. He wants to drink you. He wants to suck you.
I want to suck your cock.
Don't let him suck your cock, Varen. It will hurt.
Unless I'm mistaken, you don't know me all that well, nor do I know you. But if you've fallen out of the light, and I've risen out of the dark, we could perhaps be equally complex.
He says, I'm not saying anything here about falling or about rising. I'm just interested in the conflict. And there is a swirl of conflict around you.
We did just arrive from Dathomir.
Oh, that would certainly put conflict in anyone.
It is an interesting place.
He nods and his face just like almost looks like he's remembering pained memories. And he goes, did you fight, fuck, or flee?
Of the three, fought, but really it was something else.
You found.
Baron will just nod.
That's interesting. What did the Night Sisters have to offer you, Mr. Conflict?
Information, mostly. I went through a ritual with them. It helped me see the Force in a different way. Not quite the way they see it, but understanding how to deal with conflict, containing that darkness a bit more.
Containing it. Tell me about this darkness that you have. You said you rose from the dark? I'm curious about that.
I've given a little first. Why did you leave the Jedi?
Oh. Have you ever trained as a Jedi, or were you snatched up by the Sith as a little boy?
My brief interaction with the Jedi has been with one that was already passed.
Well, if you're not very familiar with their code, it is ridiculous.
as is that of the Sith.
Well, both of them are extremists, if you will. What is it? Give me a moment. It's been a few years. There is no emotion. There is peace.
Peace
is
is
no
a lie. There is only passion.
There is no ignorance. There is knowledge.
Through passion, I gain strength.
There is no passion. There is serenity.
Through strength, I gain power.
There is no chaos. There is harmony.
Through power, I gain victory.
There is no death. There is the Force.
Through victory, my chains are broken.
They are equally ridiculous, I have to say.
The Force shall set me free.
Or chain you down if you choose to be a Jedi or Sith, I suppose. Yeah, no, they're ridiculous. Incredible rules. Do you realize that as a Jedi, you're not allowed to love? You can't feel the warmth of another's flesh in a passionate way. You need to fight and kill to defend the order, but not hate the person that you're killing or mourn their death.
Those around a Sith are tools to be manipulated and used to enhance one's own position, betrayed at a whim. Conflict is the way forward.
Oh, I mean, conflict is certainly necessary. Listen, the Jedi are onto something. Unlike the Sith, they have an ideal. The idea that you have to strictly follow that ideal is ridiculous. There are different ways to bring balance to the Force. I don't think they think to balance it, though. I think they think to tip it over the edge. They want too much light. To them, the balance of the Force is to get rid of all of the dark, and dark definitely needs to be kept down there. But anyways.
If there's all darkness or all light, is that really balance?
No, I agree with you. That's my exact point. The dark does need to be kept down because when it grows, it's like weeds in a garden. It'll overtake it and smother it out. But it still needs to be there. It's a part of the garden. Besides, there are some wonderful weeds. Did you know that mint is a weed? I occasionally like a good mint tea. Besides, have you ever had what the hell's the name of that? It's like a red meat, but not quite. Anyways, mint goes great with a mint julep. Oh, wonderful. It doesn't matter.
I don't believe I'm familiar.
You said you don't have much by flavor. Flavor's a great thing. Besides, how could you not love a I'm going off course here. The important thing to know is that the Jedi Order is a bunch of stuck-up fools that think that you need to completely suppress everybody's emotions, opinions, feelings, everything to achieve their objective. It's foolish. But they are onto something. But tell me, what pulled you out of the dark side? Tell me about this conflict.
Force.
The Force did. He takes a sip, giving you that look that says go on, or the facial expression, I should say, that says go on. Again, his eyes don't quite meet yours because he has no pupils or iris.
I'm not sure exactly what conflict there was, but when I was very young, an intruder or intruders, I can't even remember at this point, broke in and killed my family. But another came in and avenged them before they could get to me, almost as if they were racing to get there. That became my master. He took me here, and I knew only darkness for a very long time.
Do you realize
Until
how many
something-
times I've heard this story? Those people that came in and killed your family, they were hired by the person that saved you. I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard the story so many times. They were hired by the person that came to save you. It was to set up a scenario where you owed them, where you looked up to them as a paternal figure or maternal, whoever your master was. It was a staged event. They know that these were low lives that nobody would miss anyways. So they tossed them some credits, went in there, killed them after they did the dirty work for them, made them look like a hero, scooped you up, walked away, and probably collected their credits on the way out. You were manipulated from your first encounter beforehand. It's disgusting.
I would not doubt it.
It's not much better than what the Sith do, than what the Jedi do. Go on.
A voice, the Force, something spoke to me, telling me I was on the wrong path. I questioned my master. We fought. I walked out. He didn't. And I've been trying to figure out everything since. All I know is I pursue the truth, the teachings of Revan, one who conquered the darkness, allegedly the light, though I don't know what became of him.
Wait. Revan. I know this
Yes.
name. I remember from my teachings. Revan. Revan. He was a Sith Lord. Revan.
Yes.
So you're following a Sith Lord.
A Sith Lord that started being trained by the Jedi.
I remember. I remember this Revan. He fell. He was a Jedi that was extremely well respected. He fought in the wars. He
saved
Didn't
the
he fight in
galaxy through the power of the dark side.
he fought in the
turning
Mandalorian
from the light.
wars.
Yes.
That's right. What was his name?
Revan and Malik traveled together.
That's right. Darth Malik as well. Oh, you are pulling back so many lessons I learned as a youngling. I can't remember the Jedi's name before he fell, but Revan and Malik, and they both turned to the dark side, and then eventually Revan, I guess some would say he redeemed himself by killing Malik, and I guess rebringing balance, because again, you do need to kill some Sith. You need to weed out that dark side to keep things going. But
My master had told me Revan killed Malik because the light side had tainted him.
But didn't Revan disappear? He's gone.
I don't know what happened. He disappeared one day. The thought was he would come back to
Your character should
liberate
walk
the
into the
Sith.
bar at this point. To liberate the Sith?
That is what my master had taught me.
No. What do you mean by liberate? He says. I don't know if you guys heard me.
in discussion.
To conquer the Jedi, I suppose. I don't know. It was all vague manipulation.
Can we overhear this conversation at this point?
You would see them and probably start walking over. The bar's too loud to just hear the conversation. He would as you say that, he'd open his mouth to respond, and then his head would kind of cock sideways, and he'd say, "Some interesting people have just walked in here. Do you know them?" And you would have to be able to like lean out and like look behind them, because like they're saying this, and you see walking in behind where the Miraluka is sitting. You actually see your 3 companions walking in.
Yes.
Okay, so we all walk in at the same time then.
Yeah,
Those
the
are the
3 of
ones
you
I
are
travel
together.
with.
Yeah, the 3 of you are together.
Okay.
He nods and says, "This was such a good discussion." Shakes his head. He stands up to go grab. He stands up and says, "I assume you want another." And without waiting for you to give an answer, he walks over to the bar, allowing your friends to come over and see you at the booth.
So cut back real quick for when we first walk in the door.
Yep.
Obviously,
But
we'd all
to be
see
clear,
him
Messy,
in the back.
you're
right?
completely
Yeah.
clear. All of your problems are over. You're not drugged or going through anything
No,
bad.
I got you.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure you're good.
I know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unless
Cool.
you somehow
So,
found more spice.
Did he
here and
leave or is he
there.
just going to grab a drink?
Yeah.
He's just going to go. He more or less is like your friends are walking in. I'll give you a moment. And he goes to refill his drink and get you another one, even though you had like a sip. Go ahead,
Okay.
Messy. You just walked in.
Yeah, so we just walk in, and obviously, I'd assume Bato would see him first and point him out and be like, "Oh, he's back there, right?" So, to Lady Gil will say, "All right, go with Bato. I'll meet up in a second." And then he'll step away and leave the party for a moment.
Rena, would you like to go ahead and roll a I'm not a fucking idiot check.
Yeah.
You
would.
pass.
Cool. I figured.
He's
Go
going
ahead.
to the
Would I
bar.
would I even find this suspicious or
No, because you don't know anything about his whole situation. You weren't on the
I'm
ship.
not
or anything
gonna.
like
I mean,
Okay.
if he's just going to the bar, just watch him. Like I'm not
Go to the
gonna.
bar.
Rena.
What, do you want
Where's
some
he gonna
oil?
get spice at the freaking bar, dog? Like he's gonna pick it up, like just pay for it right there. God damn it. Fine, I'll accompany him. I'll let Bado go over to Varen.
So he goes to walk away, and you turn
So
and you
you
follow
follow
Messi.
me.
Yeah.
Follow Pride, whatever.
Okay, so halfway to the bar, then I'll turn around, see you're following me, and be like, "He's back there, lady. You don't need to follow me. I'm just getting a drink."
Oh, seems they're deep in discussion anyway.
Actually, looks like he's alone.
Shouldn't
He's
say
like
anything.
nodding for you to go.
Ooh, hype train.
Okay. Okay, fine. And I'll go to the bar. This is really awkward because I wanted to do this before the Miralian.
Miraluka.
Miralukan?
Miraluka, yeah.
I know I'm a Miralian.
Correct.
He's a Miraluka. That's it.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to do this before he walked over, but I guess just timing wise, it looks like we'll be there at the same time. But I'll call for the bartender. Excuse me, sir.
Bartender walks over. Yeah. You're like, oh, that's
Can I get a
a
bottle?
lady. That's a lady.
Can I get a bottle of something strong, ma'am?
Looks at you and says, "Strong for you, or?"
Like I won't remember this night strong, if possible.
Can Bato
She starts
overhear this?
laughing. No, you're over with Varen, Revan, Varen at the moment. So the couple of other people around the bar
Unless he
kind of like
followed me to
chuckling
the
as she
bar,
starts
too.
chuckling. No. He's over Varen. We'll take care of them in a second. So a couple of people around the bar start chuckling. She goes, she looks to somebody to the side and says, hey, Francot, should I get it for him? And the guy shakes his head, saying no.
Just to be clear, I'm detoxing right now and I can't have any spice for a week. So something that makes that time go by quick.
She goes, detox with a different toxin. And shrugs
See,
and
now
says,
you understand. Yes.
she shrugs and says, I hope that's a medical droid. And she pulls out a bottle and puts it on the bar and says, that one's been sitting there for a while.
How much?
That'll cost you 215 credits.
I think I might have that on me.
Expensive
I don't
drink.
know.
It's
my
really
droid
funny
wants all
because
my
I
money.
thought I had all the money.
So you do.
I might
Yeah.
have
do
that
have all
on
the
me,
money.
lady.
But I have 570 credits on me from before that I didn't spend. So I'm gonna
Who's to
use
say
that.
I wouldn't have taken that and just kept it?
You can't just take my money. You didn't even know I had it. All right, I'm
Yeah, you
giving her
made
the
me
money
hold it
before the
before.
droid takes it from me. How much was it?
215 credits. 215.
215?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I see happening right
570
now?
minus 215.
Bato walk up to you and start a conversation.
Okay, I don't see where the other two went.
You
I
don't
mean,
see a
I mean,
tiny
I mean,
green man
imagine
trying to
you're
get
in a
drugged up.
conversation with Bato because you haven't seen him in a
Okay.
while, and he's your friend. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I paid for it.
Okay. It's an unlabeled bottle. It's like a stone-looking bottle. You can imagine you have no idea what kind of material it's made out of. It looks like it's made out of some type of stone, and with a cork or whatever on top. Looks like it's never been opened.
Can I get 2
Unlabeled.
glasses, please?
She chuckles and says, "I was kind of hoping you'd share it." Grabs 2 glasses that look like rock glasses, and puts them on the bar in front of you. Says, "Good
Nice.
luck."
Thank you. He'll
She
pick up
nods.
the glasses and the
Fills up each
bottle
glass, holds them both.
this bottle of poison, and I'll go join the other 2 at the table now.
As you turn around, walk away, and I imagine Rena, and we're gonna get to the other 2 in a second. As Rena walks off with you, I imagine she turns and calls across the bar, "Hey, Taz, Marilyn, keep an eye. He just bought some Rancor Reek. And then most of the bar just kind of like erupts laughing. And Bato, we're gonna get to you, and I'll cue in when you hear that.
Okay.
But what's your and you can give your response, okay? So you walk over to what's his name, Varen. Which, by the way, Rena, do you mind doing me a tiny little favor, pretty please, with the cherry on top? This overlay is perfect. I love every part of it. But could you actually change Wade's title from Jedi to Gray Jedi?
Oh yeah, that's easy.
We're just Force user. I mean, something.
I still need to add
Force
Gil
user
to
seems so.
That's his name anyway.
It just people get confused when they hear Jedi. They're like, he does not have the high
But is it
ground.
gray with
Jedi?
an E or gray with an A?
I like Gray with an A personally, because it's
Gray with an A. Got
gray.
it.
But you know,
It's gray either way.
it is actually, and it's one of those things where you know how people that don't know English spell like armor with like a U. Well, that's not the case. Like that's internationally, it's A or E. It doesn't matter what your country of origin is. So
You can spell armor with a U.
no, you can't.
Armor.
Armor.
Yeah,
Armor.
armor. Yeah. All right. Anyways, so Pat, you go walking up to Wade. You see, you as you walked over to Wade, because you saw him, you started walking over there. You saw someone else get up and walk towards the bar. They don't even look at you. You just see someone that looks human, gets up and walks over to the bar. So you walk up to Wade.
He just looks human. Do I
Yeah, just
notice
looks human.
anything?
Nope, because
I
they don't look at you. So
Walk up to Varen. Where's
Baron's not wearing his mask.
I imagine I'm adorned in all of my armor. Would I have the jetpack on? I guess it would be attached to my armor, wouldn't it?
you're wearing your armor now, so yeah, you get your wings.
Cool.
It's gonna be awkward sitting down. You're gonna be
Yeah. I was gonna say I'd probably just remain standing, to be honest, just because it's gonna be annoying to sit.
That's fine.
Especially in like a booth, I imagine. So would you notice anything about me, or would you not say anything about?
I imagine it's pretty obvious you have a big.
My
tack on your
armor's
back.
all buffed now too, so it's super shiny. Like, I don't know. I would be considerably much more of a light in a room now.
I think Varen will just say, almost like in a joking fashion, like, it seems your armor's gained some weight.
It is a little heavy, but I can now fly. I have earned my wings.
I believe.
Congratulations. I imagine, I don't know the proper term in your clan.
Imagine it'd be a congratulations.
That seems like a big ordeal. Were they pleased with what you had brought or had to offer?
I believe
I can fly.
the credits I provided will suffice for right now.
Good.
Where is this Force-sensitive user you were supposed to meet?
He just went to the bar.
Bada would kind of almost turn around and like point to the guy that I just passed, and just kind of like point like at him, kind of.
Yeah, Varen would just nod.
Bro, that's rude.
He's blind. Not that I know, but can he sense me pointing at him?
No. You wouldn't tell that he's blind.
Right.
You don't know that.
I know.
Yeah.
Meta-wise, I do.
Yeah.
Nothing too impressive about him. Just looks like an ordinary man.
Looks can be deceiving with the Force.
Very true. You still continue to surprise me. Meaning that in like a non-offensive way, but more of like a flattering way, I guess.
Varen will nod, probably not even hiding, like because his face is not usually shown, but you could probably see like even he looks like, yeah, surprised me too.
Yeah. So, my deed here is done. Where to next? Does this man have answers for you?
I don't
Possibly
know.
a lead?
We'll find out. I've given him a lot about my past. I don't know if I want to speak too publicly about our future. The four of us will have to meet after and talk about that.
Right now, Krasa still has quite importance to us. Finding him a healer or a mechanic to work on the cryopod, not the cryopod. It's a freaking word. Why has it escaped me?
Carbonite.
Carbonite. Thank you. Finding a mechanic or a doctor to help with whatever he's dealing with in the carbonite should be utmost importance. However, I have grown quite detached from our ship. I wish to see it again.
As do I. There are still answers on there we haven't unlocked.
I feel like,
Hopefully, they still remain.
Scott, I feel like they got to talk a lot longer than I did.
No, well, don't forget, you guys chatted for a bit, then you went over to the bar, you ordered drinks. Like it was a whole thing that took place. We can have it happen right now. That's fine. Sorry, I was also adding stuff onto Pat's character sheet for him. So you hear the, what was the name I just said?
Rancor Reek.
Yeah. Was it Hey Taz? No, the other person's name. Oh. Hey Taz, watch the Mandalorian. He just got some Rancor Reek, and like the whole bar like erupts with laughter.
Botto will probably take notice.
And there's only one Marilean here.
Oh, did you say that? Did you say the Marilean?
Yeah,
he said that.
Watch the Marilean, yeah.
I think our idiot of a companion just made a huge mistake.
Hey,
what is this Rancor Reek?
Only the worst drink that Mandalorians have concocted.
So what is it, Scott? I guess Botto would know.
So you know how like alcohol goes up to like 200 proof or 100% alcohol,
like 800 or 900 proof, isn't it?
Well, you can't go more than 100% alcohol, right? So this is
for sure you could
0% alcohol.
This is sitting at like a solid what is it, like 195 proof, or what would that be? 97.5% alcohol. It is,
literally.
but the other 2.5% is another drug. So it's like one of those things where it'll whoop your ass. Like absinthe is also like a hallucinogenic, like real absinthe, not the fake shit you get at the stores nowadays. It's like 97.5% alcohol, 2.5% another drug, like a narcotic pain number.
Is that legal to sell in some?
It has been legal. Oh, in other countries, sure.
Other countries, not here. But like I know in like Amsterdam, there's no rules. Like period.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in other countries, yeah. Here you can technically, it is actually absinthe, but it's so watered down with the other chemicals, it's not worth it.
Right, it's not actual,
and it's not good tasting either. I've had it. It's not good. So
the true good shit, or like
no, the American stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never had the good stuff. Yeah. But then again, I've also never had hallucinogenics. Like I'm scared of them. Like I would love to try mushrooms. Like I really want to try mushrooms, but I'm also like scared. So if I ever did mushrooms, I'd have to do it with my buddy Nick and with him sober, because he's done it enough times.
Look at TOS.
What, mushrooms are legal in certain cities in the United States.
Not on Twitch.
They are definitely legal in certain cities in the United States.
They had a big problem just with marijuana getting legalized on here. I don't know how they'll feel about.
I have a friend of mine that smokes all the time on.
Yeah, now. Do you know how many times she probably got banned?
Before? Oh, on YouTube, so many times, and she has a medical ID card. She has a medical card.
Yeah.
Scott, I sent you a message on Zoom.
Oh, sorry.
You could remind me to eat some nutmeg. I could try that.
All right.
Oh yeah, cool. So I'm walking over with my Rancor.
Yep.
Dank.
You got like two wine glasses or two glass glasses?
Like rock glasses.
I imagine on the way over too, like as this is all going on, like before we even make it to them, she'll just say, you really think that's a good idea? You heard what the doctor said.
The only other way I can think of. And then he will hit the table and sit down. I guess you heard, but I got us something to sip on.
That seems rather strong.
And he'll pop the cork.
For the first time, you'll hear Bato actually start to chuckle and laugh, kind of like the rest of the bar has. And he'll just say, no. You guys should finish this drink on your own.
The Miraluka would walk back over with the Miraluka would walk back over with the two
Yeah, that's
drinks
me.
and place one down in front of Varen and hold the other one in their hands and say, "It looks like this table's awfully full." But again, this is the first time everybody's seeing them. You're able to see they have no iris or pupil. They just have their white eyes that have like a slight bluish tinge to them. Everybody can go ahead and roll me a hard xenobiology, lology check. Whatever the hell it's called to
No.
identify it. Actually, give me 1 second before you roll that. It's average. Not hard, average.
2 purple.
2 purple.
Nah, I'm good. I don't want the strain.
Is it Xeno whatever?
Xenology.
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 Knowledge
yeah.
xenology.
Like at the very bottom.
Lady knows.
Of course, lady knows.
That's why she's here.
I think.
And is Messi rolling?
I think
No,
he took.
I'm
He's
not
just
even gonna
taking
hurt
the
my
L.
brain to try to.
Oh, so you just want to take the failure, take the L? Okay, Rena, with your 3 advantage there, just so you know, not only do you know what a Miraluka is, you know that Miraluka, depending on how well they've trained themselves in this, because they can just see through what other people perceive as the Force. You know that they can see through in a blind way, and they're able to see through something that otherwise you never really understood what it was until you've spent enough time with Varen that you kind of starting to get an understanding of the idea of this Force and how it's like a field that they could see. Those that have trained themselves pretty well in it, that have a pretty strong understanding of how it works, they would be able to see things that others wouldn't be able to see behind them, behind other objects, so on and so forth. They can see in areas that another person wouldn't. Whereas those that are lesser trained, more or less get the same kind of field of view, if you will, of a regular person, but again, seeing without actually needing to see. They can be blindfolded, whatever it is, and it wouldn't affect them. But you also know that because of that, these people, because they're so in tune with what's called the Force, that this person might not be a Jedi or Sith or any of these things in this religious conflict. They might be, they could just be a person, just a regular person that Varen had picked up. Then might not necessarily be a religious fanatic. So, all right, that's what you understand. Neither of you guys know anything about them. So it is walks over, hands the drink, and then says, "Looks like this table's pretty full."
Ignoring them, I'm going to interrupt and ask Bato. So is this going to be a good drink for me, or am I going to have a bad night? Because I really wanted to have a good night.
He'll just start laughing at you. He'll just start he'll just kind of like start
All right, well, I
chuckling.
guess I'll figure it out. And he'll
He'll start
pour himself
chuckling.
a glass.
You will not remember what happens tonight.
That's the hope.
By the way, wait, I need a roll. So
You got it.
so yeah, you sir, you go to pour yourself a glass.
One light. So
The Miraluka, as you're pouring yourself the glass, says, "Have you ever had that before?"
First time.
Oh,
I can't.
the restroom's that way.
I can't take it with that, but well, I can. I can't. I can't manipulate, but I can.
Want to flip a
can
die?
pull it away.
You flip a die. You can do whatever you want.
What are you doing?
No,
Okay.
I'll just pull it. I'll just pull it,
Okay.
or I could try. We could do like a thing where I don't know if he's expecting.
Absolutely not in the least bit. Okay, so that's fine. So, Messy, you pour a drink for yourself. You go to take a sip, and all of a sudden, your drink, like your hand like twitches for a second, and it just kind of like spills and pours. One, holy shit, it smells rancid. It smells terrible. And two,
I imagine
after
I
like
would have smelled it when I opened it.
you start reacting, of course, like out of how you react, of course, like your hand like twitches out of nervousness or whatever it is that makes it so you spill it on you. So how do you react to that?
I guess you'd just be embarrassed and be like, "Oh God," and like try to clean it up and obviously not do a good job. And then this stinks bad. So he's like, "Okay," and he just goes and pours himself another one.
So as you go to pour yourself another one, you pour the thing, and as you like put the bottle down or whatever it is, but you're holding well, maybe you're still holding the two things. All of a sudden you realize there's like a burning sensation on like your shoulder and your chest, and you're just like, the hell is that? And you look over and you realize that burning, like itchy burning sensation is right where that stuff spilled onto you, and it's like seeping through to your skin.
Okay, I'm gonna take the shot now.
As he goes to pour the
What the hell
glass,
are you doing?
as he goes to pour the glass, the bottle is going to slip out of his hand and crash on the floor.
Pat, you know that stuff is so flammable. Even the fumes coming off of it are so flammable. If there's a spark around you, it could start a fire right now. This is like gasoline flammable. Like, don't get back into your car and get out of your car and go touch the handle again, because you can cause a fire, right? Like when you start filling your tank, don't go back into your car until you put that damn thing away,
take
right?
like a couple of steps back with his arms still kind of crossed over and stuff like that.
You don't say anything.
No, he'll just have he'll have a low chuckle.
Okay,
Very
so the bottle
immature.
falls, but you still have the glass in your hand.
What would I roll to know that
The glass is
Aaron's
empty though. I did it
doing
before he
this?
poured.
Because I've
You
seen
said as
him-
you went to pour, so you know some's gonna get there before it falls.
Okay, well, like a couple drops, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Like we're talking like
like
a
a sip.
yeah, like a sip, exactly. Nothing crazy. You, sir, are gonna have to roll a perception check versus Wade's skullduggery.
Oh, I feel
I'm
like
not good at
Wade's gonna
this.
win that, even though he shouldn't.
Wade's
I'm not very good
skullduggery
at
is
it.
not
Does
nuts.
anybody want to use light side?
No. Oh, I didn't mean to roll
Oh.
ignore the dark side, Pips.
Do you want to re-roll without the dark side pips?
No,
I
no,
don't
no, no.
think
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It
I don't
doesn't
think I can
affect the dice.
enhance. I can enhance skullduggery, so
So,
you definitely
sir,
see me doing something.
you realize that
hand,
he
yeah.
does like a, one of those.
Okay. Yeah. So it smashes the floor. Bottle backs up and starts chuckling. But Gil's getting upset now, and he'll stand up. He was sitting on the stool. He'll stand up, and the stool will fall over, and he'll actually point at Varen and shout, "What the hell's your problem?"
Are you
So
attempting
this
to cause a scene?
I mean, he is
No.
causing a scene, but he's not
I was
attempting.
gonna say,
He's
ahead.
causing a scene. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Messi. Yeah, how's your problem? Go ahead, Wade. Sorry.
do. Okay. So you stand up, point at Varen, and say, "What the hell is your problem?"
Yes.
3. Perfect. Varen will not stand up, but he will force you, Silhouette 1, to sit back down.
The stool fell over when I stood up.
Well, then I guess you'll probably fall over because he went to sit you back down on the stool. Technically, actually, with the third light side point, I think I can. The stool's Silhouette, not Silhouette 1, right? It's a Silhouette 0.
A stool is silhouettes.
I
think it's
don't
silhouette
have.
one.
I can't do magnitude though, so I can't do 2 objects anyway at once.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
well,
can do silhouette. This is silhouette one, I think. Yeah.
if the stool's down, then he will force you to lean forward, like put your hands on the table, like lean in closer to him. Then
Okay. I imagine I can't resist that, so I will.
you can. It's discipline v discipline.
I wouldn't try it.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll
Just
just
don't try.
You sure? We
I'll
can
just
do it.
I'll just get pushed onto the table.
Roll
that's
it. It's supposed to be in a post check, so roll it.
It is
All
supposed
right,
to be
sure.
close. I'm just
Discipline?
gonna tell you, Wade's not gonna.
Don't worry. Failing this check does not give you strain, and just like that does not give him.
I
no,
literally
um,
can't beat. I literally can't beat that. There you go. Yeah.
There's no negative to doing it, but I mean, like,
Yeah, I
there's
know,
no
I
way
know.
you're gonna win against Wade.
I told you I need you at your best.
I'm trying to do that. How
By
long
drinking
I'm
is
his
this
wax.
last?
trying. I'm
He'll
trying
point
to
like
do
your
that.
like
Is that what you're
shoulder
saying?
that you keep like tapping at because it's very obviously burning, and that's going to put
Well-
you at your best. Do you even know
It
what
wouldn't
that
have
is?
happened if it wasn't for you.
No, it would be inside you doing that. The entire
Am I,
bar
like, held
laughed when
to
you
the
ordered that
table?
for a reason, and it wasn't because they thought that you were going to have a good time.
At this point, Bato's gonna walk to the barmaid. He's just gonna walk away from the
Am I-
situation.
So you walk
I, like,
over. She
held?
said, Oh, I'll get to you in a minute, Pat. Go ahead, you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to get something
Yeah,
to
and-
diffuse the alcohol on the ground.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna give you a neutralizer. Yes. All right, go ahead, Bessie.
Just as this is happening, that's what I'm doing. So.
Yeah.
Am I held at the table, or did he just pull me to it and I like hit it, but now I'm free to move?
I think
Technically, I can commit to hold you, but that's also bind. It's kind of ambiguous. I would say his goal was not to hold you in place. It was just to pull you forward to say that to you.
Okay. In that case, he's definitely gonna push off the table and stand back up, like upright, and he'll say, "Fine, then I'll find something else," and he'll leave the table again. Now we can go to Pat.
Baron will look to Lady and just kind of nod in his direction. I don't want to have to make a further scene with him. If you would, ensure that whatever else he decides is more fitting for someone to consume.
She just nods and turns kind of slowly to follow, but she'll catch up.
So Bato left mid-conversation over to the barmaid. My idiot of a friend decided to get that stupid drink. Is there anything I can do as he's dropped the bottle?
She looks and she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to keep an eye on that moron. I mean, I'm fine taking his credits. I'm fine with him killing himself, but we also don't exactly need a fire in here. You know the rules. No conflict, Bato. By the way, how you been? You look good."
We all got a laugh out of it. And with that, he'll put like 100 credit on the table just as a inconvenience fee, and take whatever she produces the neutralizer.
Yep. She'll give you like a spray foam sort of a thing that'll neutralize it out. She'll hand it to you, and she'll say, "You don't need to give the credits." Actually, on second thought, she looks to the bar, to the people sitting at the bar. "Hey, everyone, Bato said the next round's on him," and then takes the credits. And they all like, "Yeah!" And someone's like, "I always knew I liked you." Someone else is like, "I still remember when I whooped his ass as a boy."
His rifle charges up. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Damn.
Say that again. Yeah. So friendly talk with the barmaid, and I go back over and do whatever I need to neutralize. I imagine I get done finishing it as he's talking with Lady.
Yep.
So you
Baron
guys
will
probably don't notice Bottle leaving and coming back and like mopping up and like kind of like.
If he does, he won't say anything. He will look the oldest after Lady walks like off with.
Oh, well, after the two that walk away, oldest will actually chime in, like literally right as they walk away, and goes, "So, not the only one that has a conflict with an addiction."
This is still somewhat new to me, but apparently rather problematic.
Never
I
tried
don't know much
spice?
about. I have not.
He sits
Apparently,
back
he
down.
indulged enough for the both of us.
He goes, "I know you can get some pretty pure stuff. You should try it sometime." Takes a sip.
From what I've seen of the effects, I'll pass.
Oh, so you don't understand. What the Jedi teach is foolish because they want you to not enjoy anything. You should enjoy anything you'd like, but in small doses. In small doses, friend.
Is this everybody can hear this conversation now?
I mean, you can hear it. They've walked off. You've already come over, cleaned up.
Right.
and
I
you're
mean,
sitting
like
there.
he's not trying to keep it just between him and Varen. Like he's pretty open with this conversation, even though I'm just cleaning
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
shit.
He says it's
What my
small doses.
companion knows, but isn't acknowledging, what I have reinforced, is that even now, it might not be safe. For some reason, unbeknownst to me, we are pursued by bounty hunters and huts, and even though those are the others in the force.
Leave a mark. You know that, right?
A mark.
You don't exactly go tiptoeing your way across the hyperspace lanes. You kind of go bursting through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah.
Who the fuck's the Kool-Aid Man?
He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Family Guy reference. Let me take it back a step."
He's a new
goes-
hut that's in the system.
He goes, You don't exactly go tiptoeing through the hyperspace lanes. You kind of make a loud clatter everywhere you go. You've got to notice that. I found
I'm
you.
not sure. I thought I had found you. He'll say that, leaving it open for him to say more.
He says, "You burns down an entire hut enclave. You killed everybody inside, blew the place up."
No, the hut blew himself up rather than converse.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with the conflict that was going on at the time. Anyways, it was your ship that was seen landing there and flying off.
The hut seemed agitated before we even had a meeting. The Mandalorian that spoke to him before had killed some of his employees. He was left unguarded. We had assaulted his stronghold, I suppose.
Otto
He
will
put a
almost
bounty on our head.
Otto will almost interject.
Good.
Our ship was seen leaving. By what witnesses?
It's a pretty populated planet.
Not after how we left it.
Well,
You may have
the place
destroyed
we
one
were at
enclave,
was-
but that's still now Hutta.
regardless, our intent was not to go in and kill a hut or blow anything up. It was to find out why there was a bounty put on our heads. Leaving a mark or not, being captured and put in carbonite, attempted to be transported and kept as a trophy or worse. And for what, we do not know. We went for answers. He chose an extreme method of not giving them to us.
It's this carbonite thing that has me curious. You have no idea who captured you and put you there. Sith? One of the governments?
There was a Sith that I'd had several interactions with, but whether or not it was her, I can't remember. I can't remember the circumstances that led to the carbonite. My memory hasn't come back of that.
Maybe you just need to have your neural pathways cleared out. Types of meditation, extreme scenarios, and some medications can help you do that.
Maybe.
These medications I'm referring to, others sometimes call spice, but that's a different conversation.
Your knowledge of this. Are you a bounty hunter here for us too?
Us means all of you. I don't have
Hey.
interest in all of you. If you'd like to continue our conversation, I think you know where to find me. He'll stand up and look to Bato and say, "Nice to meet you." And he'll turn and walk out of the bar.
Otto will do his typical tilting of the helmet as he starts to leave.
You can sit down where the guy was sitting a minute ago.
I assume we're close to the point where you two will go and have done whatever you guys are going to do too. So I guess we can cut to you guys walking away.
Okay.
That was a pretty lengthy conversation, I imagine, too.
Yeah.
I
And
imagine you guys even be walking right back. If you walk back, depending on how this goes, I imagine you could be walking back at this point. So
Where you boys going?
It depends on where Brian's going.
Yeah, so I'm going back to the bar. How far?
Give me
does-
another.
No, how far does Lady Talem? Like how much
She'll
of a
follow
slide?
you
The
out,
bar is
like,
only
you go to
like
leave.
15 meters away. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, which is pretty far.
But she had a brief conversation. Like I'm talking very brief conversation with Varen before.
I was probably only like so many paces behind you.
you
Yeah,
literally
okay.
turned to leave, and Varian said, "Like, follow him."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably would have maybe made it to the bar by the time she's
Sure.
getting up. Like
Like
that'd
if
be
you
like
went
the
outside,
biggest gap.
turned around, came
She never
back.
sat, but sure.
Okay.
I imagine
So-
before you got a
So we're,
chance
like,
to order
just
anything, she
outside.
would be behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So in that case, he gets to the bar, and he's waiting for the bartender to like see him, and then he looks back towards the table and he sees Lady coming. He just like rolls his eyes in his whole head, and he starts making his way towards the exit. Does Lady continue to follow him outside?
Yeah, she'll follow you out.
Okay. So he'll walk outside, and how busy is it out here?
I mean,
I know we're in, like, a
Mandalore is actually a pretty sparse planet.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe like
Well,
a
everything's
Especially
grouped
where-
up in
where-
like groups though. So is this
Yeah.
like Pat's whole
But
clan's
Pat's
area?
clan
so how
area
busy-
it's not a very big clan. Like it's not the
Okay.
smallest, but it's not very big. So again, things are pretty
Right.
sparse here.
Probably a couple
Okay.
hundred people. At,
Like, you have to imagine-
maximum.
The streets are wide enough that 2 tanks can roll by each other. You know what I mean? Like
so it really is like an old western.
Western, yeah. Yep.
Realistically, is how
Yeah.
where I live. Yeah,
Okay. So when
I almost
walk
say it's kind of
outside-
like desert-y, kind of like New Mexico-y. Like it's
Right.
just
like
nothing
a-
but
like a
mountains. and-
western.
New Mexico, build that wall.
He's just gonna take a quick look around when he walks out. I'm gonna roll perception, I guess, but he's looking for someone smoking.
Oh, you would actually be able to find somebody smoking without even rolling perception. Absolutely.
Okay.
You're right outside a bar.
And-
Nobody's smoking in the bar because even in this fantasy world, you want to be that. You want to be a douche. You go outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to smell it. Okay. You can vomit on your table, and somebody else has to clean it up. But you take your cigarettes outside.
Perfect. So I'll go straight to someone smoking. And I'll say, I hate when people do this. I'm gonna do it. I'll go up to him and I'll say, "Hey man, you think I could buy something off you? I don't have any on me."
They nod. They say, "Yeah, what you into?"
Yeah.
Just happened to find the smorgasbord drug dealer. Yeah, what you need?
Well, not spice,
What do you need?
but something close would be nice.
Drugs everywhere.
Maybe a death stick if you got one.
He goes, "Oh, you mean?" And he like shows the death stick. He's like, "You mean one of these?"
Maybe a pack.
I thought you meant mods. Yeah, you can just have one. He pulls out like a couple death sticks, like 2 death sticks, and just hands them to you.
Oh fuck yes, thank you. Oh, you're a lifesaver, man. Thank you. And I'll take them. And then Lady, I imagine,
Lifesavers pulls out
sees him.
lifesavers.
Depending on how much of a leeway I have, I imagine she would have walked out by the time I was getting
Oh.
handed the death stick. So,
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
Lady
Yep.
would have
Yeah.
seen him get handed death sticks. So before you could say anything, he would put one in his mouth and ask for a light from the guy. If you want to interrupt at any point here, feel free.
Lady's like, no.
He's sober now. Slow
Okay.
motion.
It's a death stick, man.
God,
Anyway,
lady, what do
go
you say?
I mean, death sticks are stronger. Like they're still hallucinating.
When did this addiction
Anyway.
even
Yeah.
start? You were in carbonite. Like what the fuck?
Before
Yeah,
the
you don't remember
Death
when
sticks-
I came out?
Death sticks,
Sorry.
Rita, are like a cigarette mixed with a mild drug, like marijuana or something like that, right? It's like, what do they call it? Cig-a-weed.
Okay.
That's an old. What movie was that? Rush Hour reference.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I think it was Rush. I think it was Rush Hour. Anyways, go ahead.
Isn't that called a spliff?
She'll she'll
Nowadays,
just-
yes.
Okay, but it's not spice, so whatever. She you can have the death stick. I don't give a shit at this point.
Cool.
She just walks over, and we'll start talking to him, assuming the other guy will just walk away or
Well, you guys can walk away from the other person.
We'll
They
walk
were
away
there
from him.
first. She's like, I am now
Yeah.
standing here. You will now remove yourself. You must
Anyway, when
remove
we
you.
walk-
Okay, so he starts huffing the death stick. So you're just gonna walk up and say something while he's smoking. What are you gonna say?
Gil, I thought you wanted to travel with Farron.
So he's
This
like
talk.
he's got it lit. It's in his mouth. He's taking a big puff, and he just ignores you for a second. And he's like, "Thanks, guy." And he starts walking away from the bar and goes down like an alleyway. between buildings where people can't visually see him, and he'll wait for you to follow him there.
So he follows. Yeah.
Assuming you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he'll kind of post up on a wall, with, like his back to the wall, and he's smoking. And he says, why the sudden interest in how much spice I do?
Your behavior confuses me. First, you tell me that it's not only more ideal, but necessary for us to continue traveling with Farron and Bato. And so I help you convince them that we'd be useful to them, and this is what you call useful.
No, I'm not useful. It'd be, well, I was trying not to be myself. But you put a stop to that pretty quick, didn't you? Kind of ruined the whole fucking thing.
Surely I don't need to remind you what happened last time.
No, you don't. But I was out. I had
And
taken it all already.
It was just us then. You said it yourself.
I know, but it
Baron
works.
isn't exactly.
It works.
He could be sick
Lady,
for
when I
all we
take
know.
the spice, I'm not me anymore. That's the point. And it lasts until I take a bullet to the head, apparently. Even through carbonite.
And you expect this particular pattern to continue working for you.
Look,
He obviously can tell.
it only goes away when he wants it to. Doesn't matter. It only goes away when he wants it to, and he never does. So as long as I have something so I can not be myself, then as long as I don't overdo it. I mean, sure, I took too much spice off the corpses, but that was the addiction. The actual use of it was useful. Look, you're supposed to be my droid, right?
Yes.
So why are you listening to Varen and not me?
Because you requested we travel with them. We don't have to continue.
Look, we can't continue to travel with them unless I'm Pride. And I'm not Pride, I'm Gil. So give me some damn spice, and then we can fucking fly. Are you gonna help me or not?
Is that an order?
Pride's not gonna like it, but yes.
She walks away.
Okay, that's fine.
Unless
then
you
he'll,
say something, she'll stop, but
Well, yeah, he will. As you're walking away, like before you completely step out of the alley, he goes, "Wait, lady, I didn't put a bolt on you. You can do what you want."
what I want is to
If you
help
want-
you.
If you want me to be at my best,
Just realize you're asking me to fight Varad on this as well.
he doesn't need to know.
His intelligence seems pretty high.
Just tell him I found it off someone out here. Look, I can't do spice for a week, so that's not going to work. I was hoping the alcohol would do it, but and this death stick isn't working. There's not much left.
I can't change your habits for you, Gil.
Will you help me?
You gave me an order. I'll follow it. And she continues to walk away.
Yeah, this time he won't stop you. Cool.
Well, this has also
should
been a
we cut
while.
back
So
inside, or
I'm gonna say, are we noticing that they're
Yeah.
not here?
You guys have a chat. Go ahead.
She'll head back into the bar. Yeah.
You and Pat can talk.
We did, didn't we?
I mean, if you want to have more words if they return. By the way, go ahead, Rena. You can come back in.
Well, I imagine after a while we'd notice their absence if they don't.
You
come back to
probably
the
just
table.
catch up on. So what were you doing while you were gone? Oh, I was doing this. Oh, what were you? Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I feel like we'd
and
be
then she comes
looking
in.
though. I think it's
Would
been
they
long
notice
enough. We'd
that
be
we
like,
left?
where the he went to get a drink. Where the hell is he?
I don't think you'd really be that worried about it, right? The two of them are
He
always
just
weird.
force him to drop his drink and pin him to the table for a second. I think
So he
he'd be a little
probably needs a
concerned.
minute. You know, probably needs
I
a
think
minute.
Varen would be a little bit concerned.
If you were to bring it up, Bata would probably just be like,
Let
"There's
me
not."
calm him.
Yeah, like there's no place he'll be able to run without anyone telling me of it. Enjoy your drink. Relax.
It's hard to knowing another bounty hunter pursues me or us or one of us.
True. But here we are safe.
You are. I'm not sure that your clan would defend me.
They would if I asked. Even if they will not admit it, you are a true ally. Not to mention what great power you what power you hold. They will see it the same.
Aldous implied that drugs, spice, drinks are a good thing. And yet, pride, the doctor, lady, everything felt off. Was it wrong of me to stop him from drinking whatever that was?
No. There's a reason we don't even partake in some of those.
This addiction, I didn't even know of it until recently. It concerns me. With everything after us, I can't afford to have any one of us, anyone that travels with us, be less than at their best. I don't know how to stop this without physically forcing it.
I have fought in many wars, many battles, even alongside you. Addiction is a battle I know nothing of.
I need to talk to the doctor anyway. Perhaps he'll have some insight.
I was gonna ask, what's the doctor been up to like this entire time? Because I know he came back to the
Oh,
house
we-
with us, right?
No, we ditched him, didn't we?
We ditched the night sister. The doctor came back to the clan.
No, we ditched him after the ship. He said he was
Yep.
gonna go
Yeah, he
serve
left.
He
people
left
in
him.
battle.
Yeah, but he left once we got here. He didn't leave with the night sister, so he was still in this area.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we ever get
Uh,
his calm? Can we calm him? Do we have the ability to reach him?
I don't think so.
You'd be able to reach him relatively easily, anyways, just because Pat would know where to find him.
Would he?
Why not?
I mean,
You
I'm
would at least
sure I
know
could
who to
ask
ask.
around to see if anybody has seen
Yeah.
A four-armed doctor.
Four-armed
Yeah.
doctor. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah, you're
it's
probably right.
Mandalore is not a super open planet to a ton of different types of alien, but or races, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Baron doesn't have anything else to add to Bato at the moment, unless Bato
Nor
has
would I.
something else. I imagine, like I said, a lot of times passed on both sides.
Yeah. Concluding on the whole addiction thing, that's probably where you would end it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So does
So
Lady
I
come back
imagine
in?
Lady probably walks in and is coming towards your table. You see her alone. She comes up and says, he's fine. Just outside.
When I first approached you about him, you're loyal to him. You didn't tell me. I had to force it out of the doctor. But I do need to know, is this problem of his a problem for all of us? We're pursued by dangerous people. In fact, the one I met with here wants one of us as well. I need to know that I can trust him.
It will not be a problem. I take full responsibility for him.
We haven't dealt with this before. I haven't. And even without this, Rasa, Bato, and myself ended up in Carbonite. If this causes a slip up, it could be the end of all of us. Responsibility won't mean anything if we're dead.
Understood.
I need to speak with the doctor, and we need to, all four of us need to talk and figure out what's next. Baron will grab his mask and put his mask back on.
I'm pretty sure that's the first time that we've seen you without your mask, right?
Probably, yeah.
Nope, I take it back. That's not true. When we
Naked
when
and
we
back to
met
tank,
up with
right?
the doctor the first time. You had to remove it for
Baron
medical
didn't go in the
attention, I
back to
think.
tank though. That was who went in the back to tank?
I think it was just
That was
me and
you,
Lady,
wasn't it?
actually.
Lady went in second for the oil, but it was you, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Aldous wants to meet again, and I'm not sure how that meeting will go. He claimed he wanted to meet alone, but now that I know his intentions are not pure, I don't want to cause conflict near your people, Bato. I can't promise that Aldous won't try.
Conflict happens. It's the way of the world.
Let us meet and talk. Find the doctor, and then I'll find Aldous again.
And with that, he'll start to head out unless anyone says anything else or stops him.
She'll follow you.
Where you going?
Probably back to our ship. I imagine that's a central hub, unless Bato takes us to another place to stay that he trusts. But
Yeah, I
Baron just
mean, it
wants
would be my
privacy.
house.
You know, Aldous' ship is also near to your ship as well, because it took you like a couple minutes to get there before, like 2-3 minutes, whatever it was. And yeah, Bato actually has a home here, like a legit, like he's got.
Okay,
a
then
house.
I'd let Bato lead us to his place then. I imagine when we step out, do we see Pride, Gil?
He'd be finishing his second death stick outside, but probably
Like right outside the door?
Probably near the mouth of that alley he was at, so like like on the side of the building.
So should we roll perception to try to find you, or would we just see you there?
No, you probably just see him there. He's probably
Yeah,
just
you
like
probably
you
see
walk
it.
out, you look one way, you look the other way. There he is.
Pride, we need to meet.
It's Gil. Sure.
He'll
He'll,
hesitate for a moment when you say it's Gil, but he won't say anything. He'll just turn and start walking, expecting you to follow.
Yeah, he'll stomp out his death stick. It's near the end of it anyway, and he'll follow. He really chugs them.
He,
Where we going?
Bato will ask.
You okay there, Scott? You ever used a match before?
Yeah, just blow it out.
What out, forehead?
Yeah, just
All right. Unless there's anything we stop along the way, I imagine we just get back to wherever you're.
Bato
staying.
would have questioned what Gil would have said.
What?
You said he really chugs them down, and Bato would have just said he.
Oh, I don't think he said that. I think
Oh no,
that's
Oh.
what he's saying. Gil does
Gotcha,
that.
gotcha. Okay, I didn't know if that was like
he
a.
smokes fast and smokes ass.
See,
When you get
Smokes
there,
grass.
Pat, keep it simple, but you're more than welcome to describe your place. Okay, your flat.
I think
I already described it.
yeah, we did that
Oh, okay.
when we were there. But
Alright.
I mean, if you want to do it again,
No, you're good.
3-bedroom home, very roomy living room.
8
I mean,
bathrooms.
very.
Oh, that's
open.
right. That's right. Because your parents are dead. That's right.
It was my parents' home, but
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Pretty funny. All right. Sorry. Go ahead. You guys make your way there. This is where I sleep. This is where you sleep. This is where you sleep. And for you, you could plug in right next to the refrigerator.
Well, Varen's been here before because he and Crossa came here with Bato once, so we've seen it.
I'm just teasing.
She'd actually, I mean, she doesn't need to sleep, so she'd say, perhaps I'm.
oh, you have to charge.
Well, yeah, perhaps
She
I'll,
also
I'll
charged
stay
on the ship, though. Yeah. Well,
How late is
has
it?
a
It's
proper
not that
port.
late, I imagine.
No,
right?
no. You guys are fine.
This being the first time, I guess would I have known that Pride Gil smokes? Would this have been like the first time I've seen you?
You know how sometimes
would've
like, you see somebody and you're just like, yeah, that person smokes? Pride comes off as that, like, you look at them and you're like, yeah, that person smokes.
All right. Well, okay. Well,
It's like if I walk into a room and I look around the room, I go, you play Dungeons and Dragons, you play Dungeons and Dragons, you play friggin' stuff I don't want to talk about. You play Dungeons
I would
and
allow
Dragons.
everybody
You know.
into the. I would allow everybody into the
Roll some
house
kind of
first,
dice.
and I would almost stop Pride from walking in. Gil, whatever. I would ask you to smoke outside if you have craving.
Nah, I'm all out already. I just bummed 2 off a guy outside.
Bato would just do the little like head nod that he's known for. What you do with your time and your life, that is up to you. Live it well.
Hey, Bato, can I get an honest opinion on something?
He'd almost like kind of like straighten up, kind of like, because he was heading inside, but now he's just facing you completely.
He'll take like 2 steps back from you, and he'll go like this. This outfit's fucking ugly, right? Reminder, he's wearing the fuzzy jacket.
I was gonna say the really flamboyant jacket, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the leather pants.
He'll tilt his head almost to get like a second look. It somehow suits you.
Oh, fuck you. Yeah, I was hoping that'd be the case.
Are you not?
And then he'll just
You're not
walk
proud of your
inside.
attire. Are you not happy with your attire?
Damn it! I like that wording. That's okay. No, I'm not. Is
you are
lady
looking-
still here? Right? You'll look at lady and say, and that's the problem. Just to throw some more
two
beef in her.
seem to
Hmm.
you two seem to be having some problems.
Are we all
Like-
close together? Can we all hear this conversation?
Yeah, I think we're all
It's
right
like
here.
the
You guys are in the
entryway
house. Technically, I held him outside to ask him not to smoke inside.
Okay, so all we heard was that's the problems. Probably all we heard.
Yeah, probably him
Probably.
shouting. That's
Directed
the
at me,
problem. Yeah.
The lady's like, "What the fuck's he
Just
talking
walking.
about?"
Yeah. What's he on about now?
Was Bato saying something?
No.
Okay.
You said that's the and I asked, do you guys have any unhashed have you guys not like resolved? Do you
Oh,
guys have
right.
problems?
We've been together for a long time. Just comes with age, right?
I've had
Wish
many
I had more
travels with
death sticks.
Varen. We've not always seen eye to eye. Then there's
I imagine.
Crassa. Filthy cat.
Right.
Did you hear the
Uh,
meowing? That was
The one
perfect.
that's frozen. Yeah, I feel like I could hear him now. Yeah, there he is.
Shut the fuck up! I heard that.
What is
So,
this shit you are
Can we thaw
talking?
him?
What
Can
was
we
that?
thaw him here on this planet?
I'm hoping that Varen and I can go find someone that can help him. I don't know if you were aware, but the Cathar do not mix well with Mandalorians. I don't know if you want to do a lore check. Would it be a lore check, Scott?
I'd fail anyway. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Would you look at
Um,
me confusing or like?
Yeah, he tilt his head. So then we should leave.
We are fine. I can always say he's a bounty.
Well, there's still some daylight out. Should we see if we can find someone now?
Let's ask the rest of the group. Do you have somewhere you need to be?
Nope.
Is that a
He'll-
lie? Are
he'll-
you being deceiving?
Yeah, I was gonna
He'll
say.
be intentionally avoid eye contact. It's not really a lie though. I mean, I'll roll deception, but yeah, I'll roll deception.
Sick. I'm so glad this is happening because I have had intimidation coercion checks for a very long time.
What?
It's a good roll.
You're gonna intimidate me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is it?
I like to increase the value of the goods and services that Bato is offered today.
I don't
He
think
offers you that, dude.
the coercion check, not deception.
Expensive
So I
penis.
guess it's not really in that. Is your deception against my what am I? What's my role?
That's a good question. How do you beat deception?
Perception
Isn't
against deception.
I thought it was
It's
discipline.
perception.
I'm pretty sure it's perception because it's like your sense motive.
You ever play what is that fucking game?
Hmm.
LA Noire?
No.
You know the memes though, right?
Of course. Extra doubt.
Yeah. He's like, "Did you do it?" No. He's like, he's doing that, but you don't fall for it. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry, you do fall for it. My apologies. Apparently. Cool. So you let me in now? Or are you gonna
He was never
Keep us
holding you
here?
back. He just kind of like put his hand on
Okay,
your
okay.
chest to stop you. After that,
Deception is
said that-
opposed by the subject's discipline.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
roll
still my
discipline.
discipline sucks. So it probably would have been the same. It's 2 greens. I'm not gonna roll it.
Yeah.
But yeah, after you say that you're out, he would have removed his hand, so you could have left at any time.
Okay, yeah, so I'll walk in then.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So now what?
We see you two walking now.
Yeah.
What is it? Pride, which is it pride or Gil at this point? Because what did you refer to
Gil.
yourself out?
You
As
said
Gil?
Gil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I call myself Gil. Yeah.
The green man wishes to go find a doctor for Crassa. I'd obviously shut the door before I even say any of this, but
I agree, but we need to plan our next steps carefully. As I had told him,
He'll look very pointedly in your direction.
we are
mine or
not.
his.
Gills.
Even here, we're not safe. I believe Aldous wishes to take me in as a bounty.
No. No one knows who I am. I'm just the guy at the bar who spilled an expensive drink, and I mean, fucking Bottle lives here, so we could always ask around.
He wants to meet alone with me. But Cross is more important, and I need to talk to the doctor about something else as well. Or perhaps Lady, I'm not sure which of you would be more effective for this. But Cross is our number one priority. Then perhaps
Actually,
Aldous.
I think maybe if you want to meet with this guy, you could take Lady with you. I wouldn't mind.
I'm sure you
She's
wouldn't.
very. Look, she's intelligent, right? That's like the whole point.
One of you needs to be.
Okay, you're starting to annoy me.
This addiction of yours is annoying me.
Oh my. Look, I'm giving you a good idea. If you're gonna meet with this guy, take the droid.
Why do you wish to be without her?
You kidding me? Again, Lady is a very intelligent droid. She can make something out of nothing.
Is this deception?
were to
Because he's
get
not
trapped
telling
on
the
this-
whole truth.
Hold on, let me finish. If you were to
Let him
get
finish,
trapped
yeah.
on this guy's ship and you can't find a way out, she can slice you. If you end up behind bars and the guy's holding a gun to you, she can make a weapon out of rubble on the ground. She's the most useful here besides Bato and his blaster, and she's probably the most inconspicuous.
The way that he's
I gotta
coming
get my
to you
cat, sorry.
doesn't sound like he's being deceptive. It sounds like he's being honest.
Well, it might sound like, but that's the whole point of the role.
No, but
No, but
obviously,
everything he has said has been honest. It doesn't sound like he's trying to sway you.
I mean, your
You can still be
character
dishonest
knows the
if you're omitting.
dynamic. You and your character knows the dynamic between the two of them. So you have to judge that based off of what your character believes the dynamic is. But beyond that, he is
Yeah,
being
so, you
genuine
know what?
about this.
He very
Sensing-
recently just tried to
So-
shake her.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Sensing
And
your
again, you're
doubt-
familiar with that dynamic. So
sensing your doubt and like a pause of a few seconds as you kind of consider it, he'll say, "Look, man, I've gotten in more trouble than I like to admit, and without Lady here, I'd probably still be frozen in carbonite. She's the most useful person when you get into a scenario that you find yourself unable to free yourself from."
And these reasons are the only ones why you propose she leave your side and come with me.
What are you implying, man?
Lady covered for you when you were unable to leave your room. It took a lot of prying to figure out why you weren't available.
Well, even if I wanted to take Spice, I can't for like another 3 days. So if you're going to use the opportunity to take her away from me, now's the time to do it.
I'm just trying to understand your need of this substance, or substances. This Rancor reek. Whatever death sticks are.
Hey, listen, Varen, not everything I suggest is a way for me to get out of something. This is just trying to be helpful.
The fact that I have to question that's already a problem for our dynamic.
You don't have to.
He'll just kind of silently stare in your direction, like pondering.
Yeah, after like when Scott does that, I don't know why, but it looked like a with the blue background and everything. It looked like a 1990s like music video for like an R&B song of like Justin Timberlake was getting close to the cam. He's about to say something, but anyway, sorry, I'm in a Halloween mood. Yes, after like a 15-30 second pause somewhere in that range, just pick a random number, guys. He'd just tell lady, can you just stay with him?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Oldos did request a loan. I don't know if he's willing to overlook a druid or not.
What's more alone? What's more alone than a man with a droid?
A man without.
Trust me, it's lonely. No, you'd be surprised. Man without droid can indulge. Man
That's
with a
what I'm
droid's
afraid
like
of.
having a pet you have to watch. No offense, lady. You're more smart than me anyway. And yes, he does say more smart.
Literally right in front of you, and very obviously, so you can hear. Varen will turn to Lady.
Do you trust Gil's motivations here?
Gil's staring at you, lady. he's giving you the eyes, the stink eyes,
Yeah, no.
the
yeah, she
daggers.
Pick, yeah.
If you're
uh-huh.
staring like that, then Wade, you do get to roll deception versus
Discipline.
discipline.
Sure.
Like for you to see whether or not that he's giving facial signs. Everything else, I was like, yeah, let it slide, but this is too obvious.
That's fine.
You can beat that pretty easily.
I can if I'm lucky. I am.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't notice you staring.
Nice.
It's let's say it's a quick glance. Maybe like a imperceivable nod while you're looking at lady asking her the question.
So he turns like full to like give Lady his full attention, and you're like,
I imagine it's more subtle.
No, it's definitely more so.
Should not looking away. She'll just turn to Varen.
Collapse in
say,
Fortnite dances.
it's gonna be really funny after all this. She still tells him the truth.
He's being genuine. It's true. He has several days left to this sobriety.
After what happened at the bar, it's not just spice I'm concerned about.
You think I'm gonna smoke too many death sticks? Come on, man.
My knowledge of death sticks and alcohol is not high.
It would take considerably more, considerably larger amounts of either to have quite the same effect or potency.
All of our lives depend on you telling the truth here, Gil. One slip up is all it will take. Otto, can you help us find the doctor?
Know of a few places where he could have ended up. Because we wouldn't know for sure where he went, right?
Not immediately now.
And it's been a couple of hours, right? I mean,
Yeah, a few hours. Yeah.
I mean, you went and got your jetpack and everything since. So
well, I've
maybe
been here.
better part
That
of
was
the day.
days
He's
before
here.
you
Here's
guys
your
even
days,
got
yeah.
here.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
you're
You
right.
guys got here today, technically.
Yeah.
And the first thing we did was park the car and go to a bar. So
well, first we went
Wake
to your
it
house, then we
awesome.
went to the
you
bar,
guys
then
came
we
to the
went back
house
your
first, and
yeah.
then we met up with Wade. But I mean, that was still the same day.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, Bato, I'm the one who spoke to him last, and I might be able to remember something if someone mentions something, but I don't think I'd be much use.
I was there for our last conversation with the doctor, right? So I
Yeah.
remember clearly whatever he said he was going to do.
You can see clearly now the bullshit's gone.
We already told him that the doc said he was leaving. I don't remember. Did we give you details on that? I don't remember. That would have been hours ago when we first got here.
Did he say where?
Does anyone-
At the
He didn't
time
say
slot or
where.
No,
Nope.
He didn't say where.
So he's gonna go
I
find the
imagine
place.
He didn't
though,
say
Bato
where,
could
but-
just literally contact someone in his clan and be like, "Hey, did a big four-armed doctor come?"
Yeah,
Right.
like, or a dog. He
So what I'm
hides the
saying
arms.
is-
Is there a doctor? You know.
He'd probably stand out. I
Just to
imagine there's not many of his
clarify-
species here.
Just to clarify what Gil was saying is he was saying I can go with you because I spoke to him last, but I don't think I'd be much help. That's what he said.
Hmm.
Wow, Gil wanting to be alone away from the party. I can't believe it.
He just said I could go. I can go with you. I don't know if how helpful
I can go
I'd
with
be,
you,
I
but
can-
that dark alleyway over there could be better.
Hey, you see any hooded figures in dark alleys? I could.
The
Trench
shady
coats
type that sell
preferred.
drugs.
So many Mandalorians in this clan are just drug dealers.
Still.
You want to watch? I got Timex. I got Kate Spade. I have Invicta. You want to watch,
However-
friend? I'll give you
However,
a watch.
Bato decides to lead us to the doctor, we would follow. Whether he calls his clan or we just go looking, we would just follow his lead at this point.
Yeah, I would lead them wherever they would want to start first.
I will follow you. So you want to go
We just
find
want
the
to know where
doctor?
he's at and go talk to him. So if you can find
yeah,
out,
Pat. To find the doctor, it's pretty easy. You radio out, people find them for you. Radio back. It's pretty fucking easy. You know what I mean? Like, so it takes like a good 45 minutes or so, but eventually they're like, oh yeah. No, he's actually hopping on a transit. He's heading out of town. He's heading out to a war zone. If you head over there quick, you can probably catch him. He's about 15. He's leaving probably in the next 15, 20.
I would just ask whoever radioed in if they can get someone to stop him before he leaves.
They'll just radio back saying, "Hey, I know that he's hopping out of convoy. That's why he's heading out at that time. So if he intends to be on that convoy, is he being detained?"
No, he's a man of interest.
That sounds like detaining, friend.
My order still stands. Stop him if he tries to leave.
He'll be detained.
He's Bata would kind of just say he doesn't want him to be locked up or anything like that.
Messy.
Just to hold him in like an office or something like that. Stop him from actually leaving.
So you're gonna go and head over to that direction to where he is. You get there, and he is held inside of a building.
We all show up as a group, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Mhm.
He's not handcuffed or anything. He's just being held there, yeah.
Yep, correct. He looks pissed.
Wade, would you want to go in first?
he would 100% follow your lead since this is your. I mean, this is your
As they
clan, so-
already said, and I sang, I will follow you.
I mean, Bato has no will or want to talk to the guy. I mean, to save Cross, I guess, but he's already tried to help, so.
You can literally just make it. I mean, however you want to get us in there and whatever you want to say first. I mean, you could just literally just say like,
Yeah,
Baron,
I know.
and like force me to. But
No, I would Bato would walk in. He looks pissed. Would anybody else walk in with me? Would it just be all of us or just me?
we would all go to talk to him. I imagine.
Yeah, we're all going with you.
Sorry, we had to hold you. Sorry, we had to hold you like this. We needed one last thing before you leave. You're still entitled to leave, and you will be recompensated for your time. You'll be compensated for your time. Sorry.
He just sits there looking agitated, doesn't say a word.
We know you are a skilled doctor, and our friend is in trouble still, in the carbonite. Before you leave, we needed to see if there's anything that could be done here with the facilities available.
It's funny you should ask that. Because I was heading to an area that had facilities. There are no facilities here. This is a small clan gathering. No major hospitals or any grandiose equipment. If I was going to find that, it would have been on the other end of that convoy.
It's easy enough to find out where they were going and follow.
I would know the schedule of the next convoy, right?
Not off the top of your head. You can go and ask somebody though. You know.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna find out when the next convoy leaves. Imagine there's got to be like guards like right outside of this room.
Oh yeah, you can just go and speak to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Abata would be excused from.
unless you guys say anything to him, he doesn't say anything else.
There's one other matter, along with Crossa.
Varen will actually take off his mask. I believe the eye I had installed, something's not quite right with it.
It's a bit glitchy. I saw it on the scans. I think I told you before. I need the right parts to fix it. I didn't have them.
I think I have an ability where I can count as having the right tools for the job.
Tools and parts are two different things.
You said tools.
I just said parts. Check the VOD. He says.
Lady can pull parts. She has that ability.
He has the once
He
ability.
says,
Technically,
but like I
yeah.
said before, we're on Mandalore. If there's a planet that has prosthetics,
They don't have prosthetics on a war planet.
I think you said the opposite.
Not here in this clan. Is
Yeah.
what he's saying.
no. He said if there was a planet that has prosthetics, and he didn't finish the line, this would be the one. You know,
This would be it. Yeah.
if there was ever a place in the world.
I
But
don't know
even
if the whole
so-
prosthetic needs replaced. I think this just needs tweaking. Then again, I'm no expert.
Tweaking, is that the dance that the young kids do nowadays?
I hate you, Scott.
Boo.
I thought it was a Twi'lek dance, no? Okay.
Well, between Lady's ability to rip stuff out of a wall and my ability to have the tools for the job, can he look at my fucking eye?
I mean, he can, but again, he would need a facility for that. So he says, I was heading to a hospital. If I had the resources available at the hospital, I might be able to assist you. But considering I don't even work there yet, there's very little I can do here.
Bato's making sure you can get to that facility. We'll find out where that is and we'll meet you there.
He nods and says that I imagine if you lay low for a few days and come for a visit, I'll have a lay of the land. Can't expect me to know every piece of equipment that they offer, what kind of services they have, the first time I walk into a door.
I don't know that we could immediately follow anyway. We have other business to attend.
This was a conversation that didn't have to disrupt my...
We didn't ask them to contain you like this.
He doesn't respond.
I do apologize for the inconvenience, but our friend's life, we've been putting it off for too long as it is.
He nods, understandingly.
There'll be nothing else until Bato comes back. I imagine there's probably enough time for him to make his...
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably come back with the schedule.
Bato,
within the
it's late in the day, and it's not a short travel, so the next travel won't be till the next morning because of, safety. You know, go
right,
travel
I
those
figured
great
that.
distances
I
at
just
night,
didn't
yeah.
know if there was like an actual schedule.
Yeah, it'll be like in the morning. They'll be heading out like before the sun even comes up in the morning. Will be the first leaving.
Is there going to be another after that?
Yeah, there'll be several the next day.
Scott, you
Okay.
need to delay everything. This campaign is the most annoying fucking thing of all time. Thank you.
Well, then she'll say though.
That wasn't me. That was Pat.
I had to insult you.
Just
We'll
real quick.
also say like let him go get situated first. and
Yeah,
then-
come a few
because
days later.
We
Yeah.
have something to do the next day. Anyway. Aren't we going to talk to
That'd be
Yeah,
this
okay.
night, right?
You can talk to him whatever you'd like. You can go there right now. Knock knock. Hey, you up?
That was what Varen was going to
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Like saxophone emoji.
Why is
Then
this
we can. I
doctor?
mean, we could leave tomorrow after we do that.
Why is this doctor being held here again?
Because Bato asked for him to be.
It's because we couldn't contact him otherwise. We had to find him in person.
So you guys,
You arrested
you
him
guys
to
get
ask
this
him his phone
information
number.
like, oh, you'll be leaving in the morning. And he goes, I'm sure there's a park bench somewhere.
Yep.
You're more than welcome to stay on the ship again. If not, there's a motion to you two and ours.
I mean, I probably have room in my house.
Got a couch.
But well, Varen wouldn't offer up your house if you didn't offer that right away.
Well, if you offer the ship, you probably it would be very squished inside the house with all of us.
I can sleep on the ship. It's my ship. Lady can charge on it.
If that's the conversation that's had, then I guess it'd be up to him whether he accepts or not.
He lifts himself up with his bottom two arms, like off the wherever he's sitting on, and says, fine. And we'll follow you to wherever you go. Flash forward, Till, are you guys going to go see Oldest tonight or tomorrow?
We would peel off to go to Oldest while they head back.
Cool. What's his name? He's going to wake up long before sunrise so he can head back over there, half asleep. And
Before they
Grumpy.
split up, though, Varen would want to say something to Bato.
go ahead.
This could very well be a trap. Be
Most
ready.
likely, very much a trap.
I don't expect an ambush, but it could happen.
And if it does, we'll be ready.
You know where their ship is? It's,
We'll describe where it's at relative to where their ship is.
Yep. And you say the model or whatever. Yep.
lady, if things start to go sideways, contact them as soon as you can.
Yes, I will.
I have no interest in being in Carbonite again.
Rena, don't forget, you can have your ship. More or less, imagine if everybody always has an active call on, and you just everybody mutes and
I was
a
gonna
bit
say,
like imagine
that's
a
what
Discord call
probably
where
would
everybody's
do.
muted
Yeah.
and deafened, right? And then you
So
just
she'll
kind of like
yeah, she'll just say open
Everybody's muted.
communication is done through our ship.
because that way it makes it planet wide.
It's still a safe network.
Very well.
Varen will turn and start heading toward Oldest at that point.
Exactly, because like Rena, just to be clear, that's like having your radio on while your car's off. It's not a big. It doesn't like use any battery really.
Yeah.
So you're fine. You can whenever you have your ship there, I imagine it's one of the last protocols you do before you get off the ship is you open up a network and
opens
everybody
it
just
up,
mutes
yeah.
themselves. But you wouldn't deafen obviously unless you really wanted to. Everybody would mute themselves, and then if somebody needs to speak, others would hear it on their comms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know that it's definitely going to be Pride that at some point in time is going to be sitting there and like taking a piss and accidentally unmutes. So all of a sudden everybody's just sitting there and like doing their own thing elsewhere. They start hearing like that like the running water sound. Like what is that?
Scott, why does your pee sound like static?
Moving on. So
Varen and Lady will have a conversation on their way.
you right ahead. My
I
nose
don't know
is
if you
cold.
two.
It's
I don't know if you
bothering
two
me.
want to talk either, Bato and Gil.
I imagine as soon as you walk out of sight, Gil says, "Bye," and then heads over to his ship with the to be there while the doctor stays behind with Pat.
Ooh, what does my character do? Tell me what my character does now, Scott.
But he said he was going to sleep on his ship, and your character puts a thumb up his own ass.
Ooh, what's Bato do?
Ooh, how
Tell me.
far up? Knuckle deep?
Bato says, "Sit on it, Fonz."
We should just get Scott for other cameras. We don't even need to be here.
Wow, that'd
I
be,
constantly have to tell him on Fridays.
is
I'm like,
awesome.
hey Scott, can you shut up while we RP, please? Thanks. This is one of those times.
Oof. Did you get a redeem insult too? Oh.
You get a redeem insult.
Scott, don't do that.
That's scary.
I wasn't prepared.
Has HD gone too far?
What
Some
do you
say
want?
yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
This is mojo.com.
Do you guys ever miss 480p? Because I sure do.
This is mojo.com's top 10 worst facials. Number 10, Dalric.
Honorable mentions.
Just
Honorable
saying.
mention,
Not
also
balding.
comic.
Just saying,
Ow.
not balding.
Use
That,
headphones.
Protecting it by the headphones.
not balding. Just saying, Wade.
That spray
Wade, do you
stuff does a
see?
lot. It works wonders.
Wade, do you like that, Wade?
Wow.
Just want to say,
Wow.
It's
This
just so
lush-
purely
Scott,
brown.
please put the
This-
camera.
this
How
down.
often do you
lush-
dye it?
Scott,
Scott,
please.
please
I'm
put
too
the
high.
camera
Scott, I'm
down.
getting scared.
get lush
down.
thick hair, Wade.
Scott,
Do you
please.
like it?
I'm
Oh,
gonna fall.
it's so
Scott.
much hair.
I look good bald, man. I don't care anymore. I used to.
It's
Wade
true.
does look
No, he
very good
does.
bald.
He does.
In fact, I look
Oh.
better bald than I do with what I got right now. Oof. Anyway,
I was
Varen
gonna
will
say it.
open up conversation with Lady unless Lady says something first.
You won't.
I don't have a lot of experience with droids, but something feels strange about your independence.
Strange in what way?
Most droids simply do what they're told and have a function. You seem to operate as an individual.
In my past, I was simply a protocol droid. At some point, I was repaired using several pieces from other types of droids. Though I'm not, and have long since not thought about the individual who made me this way. I do know that I was able to reprioritize things when I was rebooted.
Interesting. I've heard some talk of droids who function independently, but seeing you and Gil operate more as companions than owner and droid is just somewhat unique. When I talk to Aldous, I may have to refer to you as just a droid. That is more so in explaining your being there and less so of my believing it.
Understood.
I don't know if he'll question a droid being there or not.
I
He
can
did ask
fall.
that I come alone.
I can fall into typical protocol droid.
He might see right through that, or what I say too. I'm not sure of his connection with the Force, only that he has it.
I think Lady would know that droids and Force don't work well.
Yeah, that I was just
Okay.
about to say. It's impossible for the Force or a Force to be able to read or predict the droid's behavior.
I don't mean that. I mean more so he might know that there's an ulterior reason for you being present.
Though I believe that portion would be shown through you.
Yes.
Do you doubt your capability?
No. I just don't want to underestimate his. My master underestimated me, and he should have easily been able to dispatch a man, yet didn't. I try not to forget that lesson. In the Sith, you train one, or many. They fight, you fight. But eventually, conflict is also the resolution, and one falls so another may rise. And though I don't agree with that now, there is still something to it to learn, to be wary of.
You mentioned you were able to determine his reason for being here.
Only in that he said he knows of what happened on Nalhutta. Or he knows that we flew away from an exploding building. And that he is interested in one of us.
Interested in what way?
But while he didn't say implicitly, he didn't say directly, implicitly, I believe, as a bounty for someone, he mentioned the mark I leave behind, and he was very interested in my past. And even though I went to seek him out after sensing him here, he claimed to have found me here, which means he'd already tricked me into going to find him once. Whatever his motivations are, he's stronger in the Force than he lets on. And this could all be a big manipulation all over again. Which is why I choose not to underestimate him. Even if I am walking into a trap.
I'll be prepared to contact the others in case things go awry. Though, I can also do what I can for you. Should it come to violence.
If he manages to subdue me, overpower me, or kill me, he may not care too much about you. And if that's the case, return to the others. What you do from there is up to you. Pursue me, avenge me, or move on. But I feel that whatever connection you have with Gil is important. And he may be leaning on you now without even realizing it. Like I've leaned on Bato. And Krasa.
For as long as I remain useful to him, he'll keep me around.
I think it's beyond that. At least I hope it is.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Many years as a Sith, I was alone. There were others, but we were not allies. It's different. Having people that raise you up from the darkness, to lean on, to trust, to want to protect. More important than utility.
Well, rest assured, I won't be going anywhere away from him anytime soon. After all, he is the one who found me when I rebooted.
I'm glad for that. While I do worry about his habits, you two did save Bato and I.
Well, we said we wanted to assist you.
I hope you both understand the possible cost of that.
Couldn't be more than what we've already faced.
We'll see.
That'll be about all Varen has to say unless Lady has something else she wants to talk about.
She'll just continue to follow.
All right, Scott, I imagine we're getting close to our ship. His ship.
Yep. So anyways, you
Question.
Huh?
The shield that I have,
yeah.
how long did that last once I equip it?
Once you shut it on for an encounter.
Okay.
Yeah, you just suffer, what is it, 3 strains to activate it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to activate it? It takes
Is
an
it
action, I
visible?
think, to activate it, right? Or is it a maneuver? What did we say?
Hold on. I'm gonna check my notes. Is it visible when I have it activated?
That's a hard question to answer because, like, in the movies and stuff like that, they're always visible. But like, were they visible because they're visible? Or were they visible because they wanted to put up a display for us to see as viewers? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good point.
They're visible in
still-
Dune.
Suffer 3 strain to activate. Gain 2 defense.
I've heard either you
Under
love
range.
Dune or you hate Dune. Like I've not heard many people like
Thought it
it
was
was
really good.
okay.
I like Dune a lot.
Um,
We didn't
So-
really specify. That's all I have in my notes is that it's 3 strain to activate.
The original Dune with Sting is absolutely horrible. You have to see it. The Dune and Children of Dune miniseries that were done in like the late 90s or early aughts that equal about 7.5 hours of footage is awesome and totally worth watching. The new one I haven't seen yet, but I'm sure it'll be fun.
It's
So-
on HBO Max if any of you guys want to watch it.
Mhm.
I have HBO Max. I didn't realize that. Now I'm going to watch it.
It is on HBO. My brother watched it like the day it came out on HBO.
Thank you,
Max.
HBO Max, for the sponsorship today.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys can click our link.
parents. HBO.
Distractables.
Well, you guys have a
HBO
link?
Max /distractable /Lost Initiative.
So, anyways, you guys are able to get to the ship. Rena, I believe it's an action for you to activate it.
That means Wade's getting double
Right.
paid. What
And
the heck?
yeah, well, and we don't have. It just says suffers 3 strain. I said I don't have notes.
Suffers
on
3
how
strain for
long.
it to turn on. That's just no. You just suffer 3 strain for it to activate.
Oh, and so what did you decide? Is it visible or not?
I think they are visible. Again, it's one of those things where I'm not sure in the Star Wars universe, but I think they are visible. You know what I mean? I think all the force fields are visible. Like when the destroyer droids, whatever the hell they're called, like roll up and like, or like when
99% sure, yes.
the Gungans have their shields. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, so yeah, you guys are walking in. You guys are walking up to the ship. As you go walking up to the ship, you know what I mean? The landing, the lifty thingy is down. It's not up.
Landing lifty thingy.
I always forget what it's called. The boarding ramp. The boarding ramp is down.
The landing thingy. Our DM, everybody.
Lost and coming.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I mean, Varen's just gonna board someone's ship, so he'll go walk out there and imagine that he'll
Well-
sense him being there.
No. Like there's a closed door, so like you can.
All they said it was down, as in
The
like-
boarding ramp is down, but there's still a door up there.
You said it was
Yeah.
coming.
Okay.
So I imagine you go up the boarding ramp and like hit the thing, like more or less ring the doorbell.
Sure, whatever's normal practice.
Yep. Eventually, like you wait a moment, eventually just comes up.
He would step all the way back down off the ramp. He's not just gonna stand there next to the dude's door to his ship.
The door opens up and says, "I'm glad you came."
It seems there was more to discuss.
Only if you cared to keep discussing.
You know a lot about me and my motivations, and I know so little about you.
Sounds like you need to get good at interacting.
Well, I'm here to find out.
Well, the invitation was open. Gestures for you to come up.
If do I sense anyone else around?
Stop and roll. Stop, drop, and roll, Wade. Sitting there, he's like, "Is there anybody here? Is there
That's very
anybody
light.
here? Is there anybody here?"
Alright.
Alright.
So I rolled 6 light side pips. Yeah, I guess he would see what he senses around him as well as the surface thoughts of the dude.
Okay. So you sense around, and disciplined v disciplined.
Sure.
I have to set mine up. I'm gonna dark side you. Haha. Just kidding. You wanna light side?
This is pretty important, so yeah, I think I will. I'm gonna downgrade his ability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna upgrade mine with a strain.
He's gonna upgrade his ability.
Okay, so an upgrade and a downgrade, or a
Yeah,
downgrade
but
and
you know,
upgrade, whatever.
you know that works kind of funny.
Yeah. It'll probably upgrade first, then downgrade, I imagine.
I believe it does do that. Yeah, upgrade and downgrade. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. to
Upgraded
set it up.
mine.
Okay. I'm gonna roll mine now.
The force dice don't mean anything. I forgot to undo the
Yeah.
force dice.
Where I scroll up and scroll back down. I can't find. I always find deception. He wins. You don't read his thoughts.
Okay. Do I sense anyone around?
You do not sense anybody else around. Seems like he's flying solo.
Okay.
Well, you sense others in the area, but not in the ship. Right. So he just stays there. He looks at you. He sees you. Taking a moment. Like it's clearly it's at one of those moments where like you kind of like look at him and there's like a little quarter smile on the side of his mouth that suggests he knows what it is that you're doing.
Okay.
But he just waits patiently. He doesn't look directly at you because again, he doesn't see.
Darren will directly ask him.
Is this to make it easier to take me as a bounty?
He'll raise an eyebrow. You assume I'm a bounty hunter.
With your knowledge of us leaving Nal Hutta and your interest in pursuing one, it seemed to be what you were implying.
Not only bounty hunters are interested in learning about the people around them.
From my understanding, most people on Nal Hutta are there for being the bounty, ending a bounty, or pursuing a bounty.
It's true. Criminals. Most of the people on Nal Hutta, I agree with you.
So what's your reasoning?
Being on Nal Hutta? Smuggling.
Not the same as being a bounty hunter, just property instead of people.
I mean, I acquire assets from one location, deliver them to people at another location. But truth be told, I don't smuggle because I care for the credits or glory or challenge of it. It's just a means to an end. Are you coming up here or no?
Am I something to be smuggled?
Objects, not people.
He'll follow.
You go walking up. I imagine afterwards.
Unless I need
Rena
to roll. Unless I need to roll to see if he's lying to me.
No.
Okay.
No. L4D7, I imagine, starts walking up afterwards.
Yeah.
And you invited the droid, he says, not turning around as you walk past him, but still looking at L4D7.
Another companion was insistent the droid accompany me. I think he was trying to be rid of her for other reasons.
Oh, I heard some of that conversation, didn't I?
Yes.
He looks at L4 and says, no restraining bolt.
Waiting for a response from me. She would just say, I'm here to assist Varen.
The restraining bolt's a choice of her owner.
He nods and says, but who owns who?
Not for me to decide or worry about.
It's not your ship it's walking in on. Luckily for you, I happen to like droids, though most Mandalorians don't. So you're probably safer up here than you would be down there alone.
Mandalorians don't seem to care for many outside of their own kind.
Droids particularly. Very quickly, this one would become target practice.
Well, then thankfully she's on the ship.
He gestures for L4D7 to climb on as well. As she walks by, he totally checks her out, especially from behind, and then says, there's HK series parts on you, on a protocol droid. Huh.
The mechanic who worked on me got creative.
I'm not familiar with HK.
It's a Sith droid.
We didn't have a droid.
You also don't sound like you grew up in the core.
No.
Well, he presses the button for the door to shut, but not like lift the boarding ramp or anything like that, just for the door to shut. And he goes, "How many HK protocols do you still have functioning on your mainframe?"
0.
Come on now. 0?
I do not run HK protocols on my mainframe.
I didn't say you run them, but you certainly would run on them.
Is this discussion more important than what we have to discuss?
Well, it's important. You chose to bring it on my ship. I have to know what it is I'm dealing with. You know what HK series... Oh, no, you don't know. HK series droids are Jedi killers.
Varen will stop and like look at Lady like caught off guard.
Oh fuck!
My primary function has and continues to be assisting Gil with the ship.
If you imagine the headpiece that it has, but without that giant camera that's been cut in into the face, that's an HK series head. You can also see it on the shoulder and the hip right there as well. I don't know how much of the insides are or aren't. But you can also see there's a lot of protocol droid inside there as well. There's too many parts for there not to be some of the, to have some of its software running inside there.
The Sith would say the same of me and the Jedi of you.
He looks at you and raises an eyebrow. And like looks in your direction, raises an eyebrow. And after like a long moment, he'll actually chuckle a little. Say, okay. I'll stop interrogating the droid. He will look at it though and say, as much as I don't think it matters, because you HK series are trained to utilize anything as a weapon, and most of them are trained in using lightsabers, I'm going to ask that any weapons you have just be left right here by the door, and we'll go inside and we'll chat.
It's just the blaster, so
Is that just to her?
He says that. It's, do you take yours off as well, or
You mean the one that's in pieces back on our ship?
any weapons that you might have on you? Mm-hmm. He doesn't say.
Forgot
I'm
that your
telling you, Wade.
lightsaber's
Not.
still in pieces.
He's not telling Varen. I'm telling you, Wade. So would you?
Varen will just
remove it?
lift up and show like the empty lightsaber.
You come unarmed.
My conflict is not with you.
He nods and says, "I will admit I am not unarmed and don't intend to be. Again, you
I don't
are.
expect you to.
Good.
I'm
He'll,
unarmed and on your ship. All of the tidings of battle would favor you.
Nods again. She put the blaster down on whatever table or he gestured towards, or surface she gestured towards, and then he will gesture towards another doorway, and you guys start like walking in, and he'll do that whole. I guess you guys are walking kind of like step ahead of you, or whatever it is, for you guys to go into what would be like the relaxation area inside there, which has like a nice comfortable looking couch and table on it and whatnot. You could even see off to the side where like stuff is strapped in case like the ship gets all rattly, but where you can see like a mini bar where there's a couple of drinks or whatever that are there. L4D7, go ahead and roll me a 2 purple perception check, please. You go inside there and there's different types of you can suffer that a strain. You see different types of games and whatnot that are on there as well. Like the table itself is designed to be one of the ones that have several different games that'll pop up hollow style on it for like entertainment or whatnot. And
like
he goes
Pac-Man.
he goes over and he'll go over and eventually he'll kind of like gesture towards the table wherever it is you guys could be to sit down. And yeah, sits down. Wade, while you're sitting there, I'm gonna would you like to flip a light side point?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a force die.
how is this oriented? Just so I can get a visual, because I
One
imagine
light,
she
four
would
dark.
she wouldn't sit.
You do not have to sit.
She would just stand next to Varen.
Yep.
One light, four dark.
It's one of those seats that have like half of the table as couch, and I say 2/3 of the table is like a crescent couch, and the other third of the table is like a standing space. So you can imagine they're sitting on either side of the crescent, and you're standing in the middle, right? I see what you rolled there. Wade, it's actually you haven't been saying if you want to say light side or dark side first before going in, but I know you generally would switch between it. Either way, you sense a presence here. It's strange. It's you can sense because I'm assuming light side. You can sense there's a force strength inside here. What it is though, you can't identify. You don't know, but the force is telling you that there's something here it's kind of throwing you off because you can't identify what it is. But it's nearby, very nearby. So, anyways, he sits down. And as he sits down, he says, "My manners. I know you said you don't really drink, but I didn't know if you wanted one. Or you," he says, looking up at the droid. Clearly, it was a joke to the droid, but yeah.
Which she just responds because he's looking.
We will pass.
He
Maybe I'll
nods.
take off the face mask at this point if we're getting comfortable.
He nods. He gets up and goes over and gets himself a drink. He'll actually get a glass of like a water or whatever for Varen and put it in front of him. Obviously, you don't have to drink it. And he sits down and he will take a sip of his and say, "There's nothing in that."
The Force, I feel something. Do you possess a holocron?
Holocron. I haven't seen those in years. It's been a long time since I've been back to the temple. It's been a
I
long time.
sense something. I can't place what.
Whatever it might be, maybe we'll talk about it. Thank you, by the way, Relab. So anyways, he says, whatever it might be, maybe we'll talk about it. So let's talk. You have a conflict in you because you're chasing Revan, the whatever the Jedi's name was that fell and became Darth Revan. And all the horrors that that Jedi did to succeed in the Mandalorian Wars, then flipped and turned him into one of the greatest Sith Lords that history knows. I checked up on some history on the HoloNet while you, believe it or not, there's some history about Darth Revan on the HoloNet found in Mandalore. Anyways, they have some choice words, let's just say.
He'll like literally stop like right there and turn to Lady. I would like to find those records when we return.
Understood.
Records about Revan with Mandalore?
Just records about Revan in general, but whatever we can find.
Yep. And says, he says, there's some choice words to say about him. You see that line? He watches it, kind of blankly. And then
From
says,
what I've learned, every side has their perspective. What I seek is the truth.
he nods. Eventually, Revan flipped again, if you will. Went back to the light or somewhere in between. That's the legends. But then he's gone. No record of his death that's known, though there are several Mandalorian accounts of killing him. There's no record of where he went or whatnot. Nothing that I could find. So you're seeking Revan, a Sith, raised in the dark side from a young age by a most likely staged event, who heard a whisper from the Force itself telling you you're pursuing the wrong path. You're seeking Revan. Why?
Why are you so interested in me?
Because you have a conflict in you.
I sought you out here on Mandalore, and yet you said you found me.
I did.
I've given you a lot. I wish to know more about why you have this interest, what it is about me you pursued in the first place.
How much do you know about Jedi?
Genuine fact versus Sith teachings, it's hard to say.
Do you know what a Jedi Knight is?
To what extent the Sith taught me, yes.
Do you know the difference between, say, a knight and a consular?
ability to wield the Force and accentuating one's physical ability with less direct means.
Not just what they focus on in training, but what their purpose is in the greater scheme of things.
No.
So I'm sure you've never heard of a Sentinel before.
Would I have heard of a Sentinel before?
You would have. Sentinel are the Jedi that are specifically trained to be more, like knights are warriors and out of game. Knights are warriors and consulars are like primarily power users. Sentinel are like a blend between the two, but specifically their purpose, kind of like a ranger in D&D, how it's a mixture between both a fighter and like a druid. But like specifically their purpose of a ranger in D&D is to have favorite enemies that like hunt down and whatever these favorite Sentinels hunt down Sith.
Okay, so Varen would know of that.
Mm-hmm.
I am familiar with the term.
He nods. Well, I was trained as a Jedi Sentinel.
And you seek me out despite leaving the Jedi because you thought I was a threat?
Oh, the Jedi are fools. The Jedi Code, sticking to it strictly, absolute fools. You and I can both agree that strict following of either text is absolutely insanity. That being said, I never said I left the Order. I am a Jedi Sentinel, and I do hunt down Sith. And I
Run, Wade! Run!
I have killed many of them. And that presence that you sense here are their Kyber shards.
Run, Wade! Run!
The way a Sith creates a lightsaber
Is
different.
to corrupt a pre-existing saber.
Yes.
Because weeds grow rapidly.
It was very different constructing one from a crystal on Ilum than it was creating one with the Sith.
He will take a sip of his drink and lean back in his chair, allowing you to explain.
Both crystals. When I was following the teachings of the Sith to a T and listening to my master, my lightsaber felt the same as my current one does when wielding it. But when I confronted him, I could still wield the weapon, but it felt different. This crystal on Ilum called to me.
On Ilum?
Yes.
Takes another sip. Kind of like you can see like he's upset that he interrupted you. Takes a sip and again sits back.
I guess I don't have too much to add other than it was a very different way of finding a crystal versus making one. Having the Force call out. It's been frustrating trying to figure out where it's leading me, and there have been so many detours along the way. I don't know that I've ever fought a Jedi, but I have to have had to fight many Sith. Must not be a pleasant life, doing nothing but pursuing them.
That's not all I do.
If you have their crystals, I imagine not.
You asked before why I was on Nal Hutta. I'm a smuggler by trade. But it's a cover. It's easy to find them when you're inside the holes that they live.
So am I one of the Sith you pursue?
You were, absolutely. Listen, it's not every day you hear about one of those creatures being thrown out of the river and onto a whole bunch of... It didn't have a head. It got lifted out of the river and thrown on a ton of thugs without a head. Clearly, you had a not small amount of power. I heard of the explosion, tracked down any survivors, got the information I could, found out where you jumped from, and tracked you to where well, I believed you were supposed to be going to Mandalore when I got here and asked around to find out you weren't. I was genuinely shocked. I don't know what the hell happens. My machinery's working. You were supposed to be at Mandalore, but then you wound up several days later, so I don't know, maybe you fell off course.
As I mentioned before, we stopped at Dathomir.
That's right, you did
Not
say
by
that.
choice.
Dathomir was between there and here.
The Force has pulled us to Dathomir many times. The dark side is very strong there. It's hard to resist.
That it is. I visited Dathomir. I should say I landed on Dathomir once. I don't intend to go back.
Lady, have you two had to fight and kill Force users, Sith, Jedi?
I imagine this iteration of Lady probably doesn't know. Says looking up
L4D7.
in her direction.
Lady's just a little bit faster to say in what Gil calls her.
He nods like understanding, like he knows nicknames.
Yeah, we haven't had to encounter either before.
He'll just nod. He wasn't like accusing, he was just genuinely interested.
She remembers those files from when she first awoke, but she doesn't access anything like that. And she doesn't have to use those protocols, or if they're even active. She has no idea. So anyways, so you said we haven't encountered any Sith Jedi. So he looks at you and says, so when you found me, after I had pursued you, I sensed in you almost immediately as a conflict. You weren't just some brute walking around with a red blade.
I don't wield a red blade anymore.
I haven't seen you wield a blade once since I met you.
My blade was damaged on Dathomir. A very large, very strong warrior.
You didn't. Did you
Nearly
wield
destroyed it.
Sorry. I was gonna say, did you wield a red blade? I thought your blade was purple.
It is purple, yeah.
The one
So-
he constructed with you guys, but the one he had as a Sith was red.
Yeah. In the pre-campaign, yeah. So anyways, he says,
That's right.
see, this is where the Jedi Code is foolish. Were you a Sith, and it was my intention to battle you, to kill you, I would require you to have your blade in hand and give you a fair chance. That's stupid. Had I not sensed the conflict in you, had I just assumed you were the Sith, that's you certainly have given the impression of being, I would have just killed you where you stood. Unarmed wasn't a concern. One less weed in my garden.
It is foolish to require your opponent to be at full strength. If they choose to be weak, the Sith would have you annihilate them.
But the Sith just kill for fun and all that, so we don't need to go into how corrupt they are. So you search for this you search for this Revan because it gives you this conflict, this idea of trying to find a balance between the light and the dark. Whew, I have to say, the struggle is real. I'm not going to sit here in front of you and lie to your face, Varen. You think I don't feel the pull to the dark side? There are many of the masters on the council that have spoken of whether or not I should be kicked from the Jedi Order. But the only reason why I believe that the others argue for me to stay in the Jedi Order is because if they let me go, they think I would just tumble even further. Hey, Tyler. They think I would tumble even further into the dark side. So it's a matter of damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for them. I'm pretty sure.
So do I live because you're interested in what I pursue, my attempt to control both? Or because you don't believe I'm truly Sith anymore?
When I met you, it was because I could tell that you were something different. But then when I started to get to know you, I realize there might be something more here. I'm actually interested in what it is that you're doing, what it is you're pursuing. I'm interested.
Any leads I can find for Revan? Any leads I can find for who wants to keep me in carbonite as a trophy?
I certainly might have some information, but it's not on hand, not starting from nothing.
Well, our last lead blew himself up.
Is that all you had? Do you have serial numbers that you're contained in? Do you know the facility that had you? Do you know what sector you were kept in? Do you know the names of your captors? Do you know who was it originally collected you? What details do you have beyond your last lead blew up?
Varen will turn toward Lady. In order to save her companion, this droid was on the team sent to retrieve us for the bounty. We know the numbers of the carbonite. We know details about the ship we were on to some extent, but no actual leads that I know of.
Who
He'll wait to see
maintained
if
this
Lady
ship?
has.
Was this a Sith vessel? Was it part of the Empire? It was. My nose is so red because I keep trying to make it warm. It's so cold.
She is looking to Varen for kind of
He'll nod,
confirmation
like-
here because she's not going to disclose anything unless he approves it.
He'll nod, like, go ahead.
It was a Empire ship. I don't know what kind of ship. Cargo ship.
Yeah,
The
The prison
you
ship,
know,
wasn't it?
yeah, you know what it was. It was a modified, like transport vessel, whatever it was. It was modified so it wouldn't look like a prison ship. It was supposed
Right.
to
It's
specifically,
supposed to look like a cargo ship.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like a transportation ship for
Oh,
like
okay.
people or whatever. Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So the you kind of like give all the details, and he's like, "That's a considerable amount of information to work with. You realize that?"
Our main lead, as you know, was not that long ago cut itself off, and we had business here to take care of before pursuing other ones. We hadn't fully regrouped to figure out where to go from there yet.
I'll see what I can find out.
This help you offer, what do you want in return?
The world that I grew up in, and a salad that I really enjoyed. Just the way that I made it. But it was the texture of the different ingredients involved. Nobody else really liked it as much as I did, but you know, it was just, it was one of those like pleasures that you get in life. Good amount of flavor, good crunch. Anyways, one of the key ingredients that I put inside there was one time I was out training in the fields, and I got my ass kicked, kind of passed out, and while I was sitting there recovering, just started like chewing on some leaves, and I realized it's fucking delicious. So I took some home, added it to whatever I was eating, realized it was good. It's really good ingredients, whatever. Anyways, lo and behold, when I looked into it, it was a pretty common weed that grew in the area. Most people actually had to spray lots of chemicals and like to eliminate it. But I realized that it was a delight, at least for me.
Thank you, James Spader from the Blacklist.
I'd like to believe that some of the weeds out there add flavor, have something more to offer, could be lessons for others to learn from. As a Jedi, it is my responsibility to keep balance in the Force. None of that council crap that they spoon feed the younglings. but actual balance in the Force. And part of that balance has to be an understanding between the two. Most would say I've gone pretty dark. Some might even think about hunting me down. Luckily, the council hasn't disbanded me yet. And I'm sure the same would be said by people on your side. I just think an understanding that both of us have is that a balance can be had somewhere in the middle. Different ways, granted, but nonetheless. I have to help you to prove myself right.
Are you afraid of falling to the dark side? Is fear one of the things that grips you?
Thinks for a moment. Go ahead and roll me a deception check. Discipline check. But I'm going to use the dark side to downgrade your ability. Oh, to upgrade the difficulty, sorry. So make it so you're rolling against a purple. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Wow, almost. Almost. You're able to read that he's being very contemplative. Like almost like you may have hit a nail on the head. But before you say anything else, he says, it's the spice. It's gotta be the spice. I told you I have some spice if you want it. I have some good stuff too. As somebody who's as in tune with the Force as you are, let's just say it gives you a good bump when you need it.
I know the fear. I too have felt it, even recently. Part of the reasons I do enjoy having my companions near is they are a grounding force to help stay at least in the light enough to where it's only half of me covered in shadow. The anger, the hatred, the desire to exact revenge or to force people to give you what you want rather than have to work for it. All of those things I understand. I was raised to embrace them. But even on Dathomir, where the power of the dark side is unlike any other place I've been, there was enough light, enough reason to hold on to other emotions, counterbalance that fear, that anger, that frustration. Whatever teachings there are, whatever Revan found, I do believe he at least understood that. There are times where I've leaned into the dark, and there are times where I've needed it and not.
You can see he nods along, like completely understanding that feeling.
The Jedi are afraid of fear, which doesn't make any sense. But the Sith also claim to be afraid of peace. Because as a Sith, when there is not conflict, there's just an emptiness, a loneliness, nothing. Both sides are wrong.
I would understand what you're saying, though interpret it a bit differently than how you do. But there's no reason arguing over small nuanced differences. The important thing is that we agree. Both sides are wrong. Now, don't expect me to go marching into the council and spitting on their floor or nothing like that. But I am curious, and I am hopeful that in you I can prove myself right. And with that, I could potentially bring a unique perspective to the council with a couple dozen sabers. Did I mention it's been a couple dozen?
The number is meaningless to me.
I was trying to brag for a moment there, but you know.
When you're raised with the Sith, if you haven't accumulated a couple of dozen sabers by the time you're even old enough to go out on your own, then you are one of those sabers.
Well, I think you and I have finally met one another. He'll actually reach over and extend his hands to grab yours. Oldest.
I do not know my birth name. I only know that they called me Varen.
It's funny.
And Varen is the name I still go by. So Varen.
He goes, it's funny. I think I'll call you Mint.
You seem to like food. I understand.
I like flavor. And you, sir, are quite spicy. And he'll kind of toss like a sideways glance over to L4 to see if she gets the joke. But L4 is a droid. It's not exactly someone who's a good audience.
So he makes a joke and they're both just like stone-faced.
It's like a comedy special in
that feeling.
Provo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much comedy specials you guys watch, but comedy specials in Provo, people are always throwing these awesome jokes and people are just kind of like, ha! I'm like, ugh. Fucking Utah. They ruin everything. Anyways, so he goes, I'll see what I can find for answers. There's got to be a way of reaching out to you. Where do you usually fly by? I imagine you don't hang around on Mandalore very often.
Wherever the Force leads us, even if that means being pulled out of hyperspace into Dathomir. The Force has had a strong presence in where we've ended up, often unwittingly.
Our favorite vacationing spot is definitely Dathomir, though. We have a summer home now.
So I suppose what I should do is set a beacon on Dathomir to set a beacon in orbit around Dathomir if I'm trying to get a hold of you.
With any luck, our business there is concluded. But we've thought that before.
You sure you don't want to try to unlock that memory? I have a really nice meditation chamber, and I do have some spice that opens up the mind.
No spice. I need to free my companion of that.
Gil from like 2 towns over. What?
He's like,
Nani?
I don't think you understand that the word spice is a relatively generic term. There are many different types of spice, produced different ways for different reasons, have different effects. It's like saying, do you want a drink? That could mean a myriad of things.
Even drinks I normally don't partake.
Like water? He says, gesturing at the full cup in front of you.
Outside of what's necessary to survive.
My point exactly. Drink is such a loose term. Spice is about as loose of a term. I'm actually a trained doctor. I've part of my training as a sentinel is I have to be able to be competent at field dressings, but I was proficient in it, so I took my training a bit further. I'm rather competent at dressing wounds and the like. I know medications fairly well. When I talk about taking spice, I don't mean shoving things up your nose and making the world go whoopee whoopee. I mean you take a
favorite Jedi slang.
You take a preset dosage that is definitely going to have an impact on you, but at the same time, one that's can be controlled and understood. I'm sure you've taken medications before. You've used a stim pack.
Yes.
Then you understand that with a stim pack, that is a drug. It just has a very specific amount. You take 3 times the amount that's in a stim pack, and you are going to have a very different experience.
They're gonna look the lady to see if she'll confirm this because he's like he doesn't know drugs and stuff.
For her to know anything, it'd be a medicine check.
Okay.
Yeah,
what-
I would say roll against 0 purple or anything like that, and based off successes, the number of successes.
So just unopposed. Or just,
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, only 2 successes means you don't have a particularly deep knowledge because you're not trained in medication at all. But kind of cross references the knowledge you have in your head. I mean, all medicines taken high dosages can be lethal. That's relatively mundane information that you would have. So
Yeah. Depending on the dosage, it could have varying effects.
Perhaps down the line then, but not right now. Not while I'm trying to convince a companion to stay away from such substances. It would take away my credibility in that attempt.
shakes his head and goes, "Do you have any idea how much like a Jedi Knight you sound right now?"
It's too easy to sound too much like a Sith. I'm still fighting that darkness.
I just came to a realization. Your saber, the blade. Shakes his head, holds up his hands, and again looks off in the direction, because again, can't see. Looks off in the direction of L4 D7 and says, "It's purple, isn't it? It's violet in color."
He looks at Lady instead of Varen for that.
Yeah.
Wanting me to respond? She wouldn't unless Varen confirmed.
I don't remember when Dune was written, but Star Wars existed in the 70s, first as a movie before a book. I don't know. I remember when Frank wrote Dune. What do you say, Rena?
She wouldn't
She
respond
wouldn't
unless Varen would say anything.
65.
If she doesn't say anything, Varen would just nod.
I guess he can't see that.
So what do you say, Rita? Because he
I
nods
didn't
to
say
you.
anything.
Well, no, he nodded to you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
to
He
me?
nodded to Aldous.
Oh,
whatever.
okay. That's what I thought.
Whenever she doesn't respond, he'll nod to the guy instead.
Nods to her. She does nothing.
No,
he
it's
didn't
not
nod to
to
her.
me.
He nodded to Aldous, not to her.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood that. So
All
anyways,
3 times.
yeah,
know.
my apologies. So you nod, and
That's true. He cannot see, but he can also see very well at the same time.
he can see certain things, but small gestures not necessarily. Anyways, so he says, "By the silence here, I'm guessing I'm right."
Yes.
That
Does Varen know if the color means anything or not before he says anything?
Actually, you probably wouldn't know very much. You would know about Sentinels. You know
Would
what
that
I
be a
mean?
lore check to see if I know anything about the color?
You go right
Sentinels?
ahead. I would say because it's Jedi related, it's a hard lore check for you. And you know what? Are you going to use a light side point?
I don't really care if I know this or not, so no.
Okay, I'm going to use a dark side, and I'm going to increase the difficulty. I want a red die in there.
Okay, just lore.
Have we used light side yet today?
Yeah.
Wait.
I used one and he countered me with another one. We haven't used much. We haven't made any rolls. I do not.
Okay, you have no idea.
Can
Take
I
a
roll?
lore check.
to- I guess. It's
Go ahead.
not
Yeah,
lore
yeah,
so
go ahead.
much as, like,
No. You go ahead. Roll your
digging through
lore,
these
and it's
files.
going to be again. I would say 3 purple.
Wouldn't this be like a knowledge check though?
Lore is knowledge.
Oh. Okay.
She succeeds. Flying colors. Rena, yeah, you know that color code of your convenience, though not perfect every time. Jedi Knights tend to be blue, Sentinels tend to be yellow, Consulars tend to be green, Sith are always red because they corrupt the crystals to do so. But the reason why they choose those colors because the color of the crystal is based off of your persona, right? Now you may be trained as a Consular and be a Jedi Consular, which focuses on force powers and so on and so forth, despite the fact that a lot of your persona, a lot of your mindset, so on and so forth, would lead you to have a blue crystal. So again, color coded for your convenience, but certainly not flawless. It's just a good rule of thumb. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't remember where we left off. He goes, by the silence here, I'm right, aren't I? And you said yes. So kind of like, and then you asked me a question out of game. So then picking up where he left off, he goes, that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. That's why you're the way you are. You would have been a Jedi Knight. You would have been a brash, self-righteous, caution to the winds, throw it all in the battle. That makes so much sense. If you were indoctrinated by the other side, if you were kidnapped by a different cult, you would have been brought over there and, oh man, I can see it now. You would have been a Jedi Knight. Oh God. That makes perfect sense. And it's the conflict. That's why your crystal's purple. It's because you're meant to be a Jedi Knight, but you're a damn Sith. So your crystal's purple. You know how color works.
Only that corrupted sabers end up red.
Well, yeah.
Coloring of Jedi sabers has never meant anything to me, other than as trophies or a crystal to be corrupted.
Blue is typically the saber of a knight. It's not always, but it's typically it's the iconic color of a Jedi Knight, of the headstrong warriors that go charging into battle. And red, as you know, it's a semi-corrupted crystal. That's why your crystal is the way that it is. That's why it's from Ilum. A crystal from Ilum called to you, but you are not clear. That is amazing.
Simp.
Oh, he said amazing and like I should have known, not like I'm going to get banned from Twitch because of TOS.
Where I would have ended up, I cannot say. The Force and life took me on a very different path. My first saber was red. My current saber is purple.
Your first saber was red because you corrupted a crystal before you ever ignited it for the first time.
Yes.
So you don't know what the crystal was supposed to be. You probably took somebody else's crystal and corrupted it. It wasn't one that called to you, right?
The Force would tell me my first saber was supposed to be red.
No, that was your teachings. It doesn't matter. We're getting into the nitty gritty here and the nuanced differences between your training and mine. Listen, I've hunted down a lot of Sith. I've heard a lot of their bullshit over the years. I'm somewhat mired in it. I'm familiar with your teachings. Luckily, I've never been indoctrinated by them. That's something that happens pretty quickly, but I think it was because of the fact that I was able to resist the full indoctrination of the Jedi that helped me to resist the, you know what I'm saying. I think I'm too much of an ass to go one way or the other, but the important thing is that I genuinely am interested in what it is that you're doing. I really want to see you come to some understanding of success. And I think the people you travel with are probably helping you.
Yes. I would say they are.
You're playing a role model to a drug addict.
I'm not sure that I'm a role model. I just need him at his best in case somebody like you comes along, but instead of being interested in helping, decides to put me back in carbonite.
He looks to the side. He says, "Lady, am I wrong?"
I'm unsure of his
To
full
look too, because he's
intentions.
also curious.
I'm unsure his full intentions. That's a droid if there ever was one.
Yes, it is.
Droids, the reason why I have such an affinity to droids is because they remind me of being at home with the Jedi Masters. You ask a question, and you get the most non-answer you could possibly get. You'll say something like, "Hey, Susan, did you do the dishes today?" And Susan would respond with, "I actually went ahead and completed all of my tests. I feel like I'm ready for the next level." And you're like, "That's fucking great, Susan. But I asked about dishes. Why are you telling me about a test?" It's infuriating. It reminds me of home.
I've always found ladies' answers to be adequate, forthright, except for whenever she conceals things to protect Gil, which I understand. They were companions first.
Maybe it's just different perspectives. I don't think there's anything else we're going to get from one another right now. I think we understand one another. I just need to know where and when I can meet up with you.
We haven't discussed our next destination yet.